Jesus.
Oh, I don't know how we're going to get through this. And we're
not going to get through this. We need Maya. We need Maya here to help us.
We need Maya. We do. Maya will be joining us in just a second, but we have the Williams sisters, KayLynn and Haley. How are you doing?
Hi, we're
Thank
doing
you for
so
having
good.
us. We're so excited. We're doing
We're
great.
pumped to be here, Justin and Joey. Thank you guys so much for having us.
Oh, well, that's really nice. I didn't know, there's a lot of recap shows out there. You never know how many shows you watch. I don't know if you racers were like me, where I literally watched every recap show, listened to every recap podcast, downloaded them and stored them so I can go back and listen later.
Haley and I wing it.
You just wing it.
We wing everything. But this is the recap.
This is the recap. Yeah. I totally agree.
I agree. This is the only recap show with all amazing races. This is the only recap show with former winners, and this is the only recap show that has the green team. So
Exactly. This is where the cool kids are.
This is the cool kids.
all right, we got a double mega episode leg going on, double yields, double lots of things we're gonna get into, and I'm so pissed off about a couple of them. So we'll get into it.
Ooh, I can't wait to talk about that.
Let's get juicy. I'm pumped.
Yes. All right. So I got to pay attention to see when Maya joining us, but we'll kick this off. We'll kick it off just the order of departure. Will and James leaving at 10:15. Riley and Madison about 13 minutes later. Hung and Chi were about 20 minutes behind them. Gary and D'Angelo about a half hour back. KayLynn and Haley in 5th place, about 15 minutes behind. And then Ishwar and Aparna about 5 minutes behind them. But we're going to get bunched up and fly to Hyderabad, India. Teams must make their way to a multi-cuisine restaurant and find their next clue. You see restaurant, you think eating challenge immediately. Were you guys scared at all about eating challenges? How are you guys for eating challenges?
So Haley and I actually don't even eat meat. So yeah, we were scared about eating challenges.
But we were ready to eat anything. I would eat anything on the race.
Oh yeah, we were ready to do it.
Yeah,
like give us the nasty stuff. We're ready.
I think an eating challenge is hard, but at the same time it's easy because all you have to do is just eat it.
Yeah, you just got to hold your nose and do it.
But I guess we've seen some episodes where they have to eat, what was it, the black egg, and that was the main thing. Like, that would have destroyed me.
Yeah, that would have been rough.
Yeah.
But we would have done it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be fun for us.
I'm a vegetarian as well, but the good thing about India is the majority of India are vegetarians, so that would have been. There's not many disgusting vegetables. Maybe a durian fruit or something like that. That'd be kind of nasty, but all right. And that was Diana's biggest fear, was eating challenges, that she would be caught.
Really?
She's like a quick, like, she's quick to do it. She's like,
Is she a vegetarian too?
Only because I cook most of the time, so she just eats what I cook. But
that's awesome.
She goes next door to her parents' house and eats meat once in a while, but for the most part, she's vegetarian.
Good for her. Good for y'all.
Yeah, good for y'all. That's awesome.
Look at Joey.
Joey doesn't believe in a lot of things, and love is one of them. We'll get to that later. More on that later. All right,
wait, girls, have you been watching the last few podcasts?
No.
Oh, did you catch
we
up?
saw some of Leon and Alana's, which was
Okay.
really good.
Yeah,
of course we watched Leon and Alana's.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I have a lot of catching up to do.
I know.
I need a day to just binge all of that.
I know. We really
You have plenty of time. Just download them and then watch them later.
Right, exactly.
All right,
if Maya's not here though, just go by it.
Just skip. Don't even watch it. It's a shit show.
Swearing, tomfoolery.
You guys kind of maximize around.
So Will and James are talking about being part of the last yield and that they are going to use theirs this leg. So how much, let's talk about that yield real quick. How much of an influence? Because it looked like on the camera you guys were not going to use it. You got these like, I'm not going to use it. We're not going to use it. We're not going to use it. You got there, people yelling at a tent, and then you used it. So how much of an influence were those two teams?
We battled it the whole way to the yurts. We were not going to use it. We had decided that by the end of it, we had decided we were not going to do it.
Yeah.
But then as soon as we got there, they were screaming to do it. So I would say that they had a pretty good influence on it.
Well, also, we weren't sure if we were second to last because we didn't see any of the other teams at the other challenge. So we weren't sure like where our placement was. And then once we heard that we were in fact second to last, it would have been dumb to not use it.
Yeah.
And especially with the detail of the yurts, and we asked if it was hard, and they said you're going to want it. So at that point, we knew we had to.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think using it was the right move for sure. I mean, the only time to use a yield or a U-turn is to get a first place or to avoid a last place. Any other time you use it is wrong. Any
I
other
was
time.
standing on my couch like a 12-year-old girl at a Justin Bieber concert, clutching a pillow, going, "Here's the fucking Yale!" That's what I was doing. I was freaking out.
That
You guys
was
are
such
so
a
nice.
thing,
You're so nice.
because you're like,
That
we're
was a
not
good
going to
thing.
use it, and then they're like, girls were like,
I don't
No.
know. You have to use it. I didn't realize that. I remember Will and James James sticking his head out. But at that moment, I didn't remember Riley doing it or Ishwar.
yeah, all three of them did it.
Ooh.
We were all doing it.
Yeah.
Everyone in the chat was doing it.
The peer pressure.
Yeah.
Everybody. No, but it was a smart move to do it. But, we'll talk about if it was
More
smart
that
for
later.
these next two teams to do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which it wasn't. McKibben, spoiler alert, it wasn't. There was a much better move to be made that they should have, and they're going to regret it.
Totally.
McKibben brothers talk about volleyball tournaments last a bunch of days, and they're used to playing long-term days, and this is an advantage for them because they got the endurance. Maybe it was. Hung and Chia talking about giving away too much information to the Alliance, especially Gary and D'Angelo, and they will not be sharing any more with them. You sure about that? Gary, we'll find out. All you got to do is ask Hung, and she's like, okay.
Yeah.
90 seconds. You have 90 seconds.
Damn it.
That's so true. So true. And she's like, here, are you frustrated? He's like, a little bit.
Are you frustrated? Yes, I want to bang my head against the wall.
Maya?
Yeah, that's Maya. She's got her new invisible ice cream. She's invented invisible ice cream. So when you eat it, you become invisible. Kids are gonna love it. So Gary and D'Angelo think the Mind Five are strong, or still going strong, and it's guaranteed they're going to be the Mind Five going to the Final Five. I guess they don't know about the Little Three alliance that's going on. What? Who's this?
Hey,
Who is this?
Hi, girl.
She got braids? Maya got braids? Hey.
I'm so sorry. I wasn't home.
All
Sorry,
good,
Miss
Doc.
Yeah, thanks for
Sorry.
joining.
Yeah,
Yay!
this is
It's
awesome.
a party now.
Yeah.
It was so great to see you guys race.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
It's great to see you
Yep.
race.
Mhm. We were
Oh,
binge
thank
watching
you.
all of y'all seasons before we left, and we're like,
Oh.
shit, we can't do any of that.
You guys made it pretty far, so cheers to you.
Oh,
Thank
thank
you.
you so
What up,
much.
what up,
Yeah.
Joey and Justin?
Hey,
Are
hey,
you
hey.
in ice cream pajamas?
I have on ice cream leggings.
Oh, those are so cute.
Well, I mean, you should. I mean, you're an ice cream doctor,
Scientist.
ice cream scientist.
Yes.
All right, so we're just getting started. We talked a little bit about the yield from last leg, about when they yielded Leo and Alana. And we're just kind of getting started here with the junk talking in the beginning. KayLynn and Haley. For some reason, KayLynn and Haley think that being in the back could be an advantage on a mega leg. No. Being in the back is never an advantage. There's never an advantage to being in the back. Can you explain that to me, or was it just positive thinking?
Not.
It
So
was
it was positive
positive
thinking, but it was also like there's so many challenges today that like if somebody gets derailed in any way, we have time to catch up. But it was us that got derailed the whole time, so there was no time to catch up.
We never got that, ever.
But the only advantage actually was at the when you had to match the hats.
Yeah.
There was only 3 left.
Yeah.
But you have to
But that
figure out
was
which
what it
3.
was.
For her.
That was kind of confusing because I would go down underneath the virtual and I wasn't aware at that point because I was running the race by myself at that point. So when I saw all the guys on the matching, on the floor where they had to like look underneath, when I saw all of them up there, I wasn't aware that they were the ones that were already in use.
Right.
So I would go down and all the 18 virtual guys that would show up wearing the turbans on the iPad, I would run back up and look at them and I'm like, why are you standing here? And I'm like, oh my God, duh. And then then I had an advantage. Yeah.
Were those colors of the turbans as bad as they seemed on TV? Or am I just
Yes.
colorblind?
They look very different.
They
on
were
TV.
so confusing. Y'all.
I'm like, there are no pink turbans on that. On the
I
iPad.
know.
Yeah.
Purple.
Yeah, terrible.
That whole day for us was just
Hard.
Ishwar and Aparna are super excited because they are in India where they were born and they visited many times and they're going to like the tech capital of India and they're coders and they're like super stoked. Woohoo! Should they have an
It's
advantage?
like the third time they've been super stoked about Sorry, Ishwar, Aparna, I love you guys. Yeah.
I wish they would talk more. Ishwar and Aparna seem like the type of people I would hang out with in real life. They don't shine at all on this race. I'm waiting for the shine.
I know, and they have such big personalities.
They do.
They are like the life of the parties. Mm-hmm. They have such big personalities. Like Aparna is such a firecracker, y'all. It's crazy. I know. I'm like, why aren't they getting more airtime or something? But they are amazing. They're so much fun and they're so funny.
Yeah, I think their personalities are way bigger in person.
Yeah.
But they do come off really quiet on the show. I totally agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it'll start
shining a little unsure at times.
Yeah. A little know-it-all-ish at times.
I mean, luckily for Haley and I, we're like, when we were getting picked for it, we were like, well, you got the brains over there, you got the bronze over there. We're like, we're Haley and Caleb.
You guys got the heart. You guys got heart, and that takes you a lot of places. That takes you a lot of places. And Dale says they're not coders; they're engineers. They're software engineers, which are coders. Yeah. But
how come there's an excuse for them for everything? If you go back and watch all these seasons, this season we all picked you guys just based on the initial stuff we had for you. I shit on them, totally admit it, but every time something happens, they're like, well, we're from Cal State, I don't know, wherever.
Berkeley, right?
You guys are excuse. There's always an excuse. It's just
that's hilarious.
Right. Well, Joey, it's not an excuse. They're just explaining the situation. And see, my wife does the same thing. Like when I come up and I explain my situations, it's not an excuse.
Excuses.
Same thing.
The reason why we have KayLynn and Haley on right now is because they got put. They're not having excuses for it. It wasn't count. They got 2 years.
Yeah. Thank you. We did.
Thank you. Would you all have caught up? Do you all think you would have caught up without the yields? Do you think that? No.
Y'all, our taxi cab driver had us lost for hours. It was, and he wouldn't speak. He wouldn't talk to us, and we were like, and he drove past the Platina, which was the challenge, over and over and over again, to where the point where we're like, is this like rigged? Like, what is going on?
I'm going to say that's your fault. I'm going to say that's your fault.
Isn't it a cultural
Get out!
Is Ishwar?
Well, that's the thing, is that it was a marked taxi, right? Yeah. That was a marked taxi. And so it was like, I think on the clue it said, go to marked taxi.
Oh.
And so at that point, I'm like, I don't even know if we can jump out and get into another taxi.
Throughout the history of Amazing Race, a lot of female teams have had problems in India, especially because men don't respect women as much as they respect other men in India.
As much as I respect you girls.
Thank you.
So that has been a problem. There was a few incidences on our season with the cheerleaders.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was getting at. Where they would just they would talk to the men. They would talk to the men and then just kind of ignore the girls.
But I was screaming
there in the carriages.
I was screaming.
They wanted to take
out.
selfies with us, but they didn't.
Oh yeah. Well, did you see the guy in the red shirt?
Oh yeah.
Did you deliver the photo to? When Hug went in there, he looked like he was roid raging. He was like, and when y'all walked in there, he was like,
I know. That was hilarious. Or the ginger guy with the smile. He's so cute.
He's got no teeth.
They were in a headlock.
I know. I'm like, sorry.
So
feels like open wide.
So he's got a lollipop.
Yeah.
And then choke on a lollipop and her teeth.
We'll get there,
like,
Joey.
So rude. She's offering him a lollipop. I'm like, I didn't remember saying that.
We'll get there, Joey. We'll get there. All right. So Ishwar and Aparna are super excited, and boom, it starts off. I'm thinking this is their leg. They get to the clue box first. The first time ever, they're in first place. It shows their name, first place. They better screenshot that because that's the only time they're going to see it.
I don't know, Justin. I don't know. They're still in it, so you never know.
The only team in it who hasn't won a leg.
And Amy and I did not win any legs.
Yes, but you are the exception, not the rule. It's happened twice in the history. Out of 32 seasons, it's happened twice.
Thank you, ladies.
You and the goat farmers. Happened twice, right?
Yep, the boys, yep.
All right, so they're at the clue box first. Boom, they find out teams must smog test 3 auto rickshaws in order to receive their next clue. They're one of the few teams that understood what an auto rickshaw was. I am super pissed off at James for not knowing what an auto rickshaw was. He recapped my season when we were on the tuk-tuks, aka auto rickshaws. Same exact thing. He's recapped the show. There's no excuse for him. D'Angelo, I can get it. He's probably never even heard of a rickshaw. He's never been in a rickshaw. There's no reason for him to know what a rickshaw is. But he even said he didn't watch any of the seasons. But Will and James, like, they've watched, at least 10 seasons. No excuses. Pissed off at that. I was screaming. Will and James.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't know that. That was shocking
for
them. Because they knew everything. They knew the ins and the outs of the race front and back. So
they should.
They didn't know that.
They seem to get they seem to forget stuff when they're really under a lot of pressure. It happens all the time.
Maybe that's our excuse.
No, you guys, I said it a couple weeks ago. You guys crush all your challenges. It's just getting there. You guys got caught.
Just getting there is the hard part.
Just getting there.
I was just reminded that my season was won by a team that didn't win a leg, and I forgot. My bad. And so it's happened 4 times. Season 11 as well. But again, I haven't rewatched my own season, so I didn't take any notes.
You haven't rewatched your own season?
I can't.
He doesn't. He won't.
It hurts. It hurts.
It hurts too much.
Makes sense.
See, like this is my biggest compliment to you guys is you guys have something that I could never ever achieve. That calmness, that coolness, that going to the mat with even thinking your last place and just happy and smiling. I would be bawling my fucking eyes out heading to that mat if I thought I was in last place. And you guys are like skipping along like, hey, how are you?
We always thought we were out. So every time we'd be like, we've accepted it. And Phil's like, you're still racing. And we're like, what the hell?
Yeah, we get to the hotel rooms and be like,
we're like, how are we still here?
I genuinely wish more races had your attitudes on the race.
Thank you.
But I might want
pleasant to watch.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, we'll get to it at the end.
But wish you all would have been a little bit more aggressive.
Aggressive, yes.
Yeah, like not aggressive in a negative way by any means, but like it's really known, especially having race on a female team, we have to assert ourselves a lot more, especially when in taxis. And I was way more assertive than Amy, so like you never saw this part of me, but like when we were in taxis, like I was very demanding, and you had to be. And I wish you all, and maybe you all were, we just didn't see it.
No, I wish we were.
Yeah, I wish you all were. I think it would have helped you.
Yeah, we should have gotten out. I think that we thought that we weren't allowed to get out of that taxi if it was marked. So, but then when I watched in Brazil and saw James and Will get out of their taxi, then I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
We could have left a long time ago. Paraguay, like, she took us for a ringer. Like, geez, like, we should have left.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so. When a team has a bad taxi in one leg, it's like our bad luck. When a team has a bad taxi in 3 legs, is it the team's fault? I don't know. Like
we let them take us for a ride.
Like that's what I mean. If you couldn't get out,
never let them do that. Yeah.
If we ever went back, I would definitely be way more assertive.
People would be like, "What happened? They were so nice," and we're like, "Pull over."
or find someone with a phone that has GPS. I mean, you're in India. You're in the tech capital of India. I mean, they have that there. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, I mean, hindsight's 20/20, but like things like that, where if you had to stay with the taxi, you could have gotten out, found a GPS, wrote down all the directions, and then given that to the taxi driver. So there is no excuse. Sort of taking things back into your own hands.
He would pull over. He would pull over countless times and get to somebody with a phone, and then he would write it down, and we're like, okay, we're finally doing it. We're doing it. And then he'd drive past it again.
What the heck?
It was crazy.
He took us for a ride. We should have gotten out.
Oh, that's painful.
Oh,
it was painful.
Speaking of KayLynn and Haley, they tell a rickshaw to just pull in. You're ours. Just pull in, and then it just keeps going. I'm like, just get in and just get there. And
there was so much I should have done in that situation.
Yeah, Cam's like, you're ours.
I was like, over there. And I was like, hey. And he's like,
because I'll tell you.
Each weren't jumping in there.
One guy turned around and went the total opposite way in traffic.
yeah, trying to get away from everyone. It was a scene.
It was. There's cows walking through the street.
It was crazy at that moment.
I love
so
it. Oh my God.
She did awesome. She just dove right into the cab.
Yeah, I like her
she made it
aggressiveness.
pull over.
She's extremely aggressive. She's and that's what it takes to win.
About that
sometimes.
business.
Yeah,
100%.
You have to be aggressive.
Yep.
You have to, and we weren't.
especially when every single team is at the same task. Like that's you have to be a little bit out of character at that time and be aggressive. You can come off as the bad guys for like 5 seconds. They'll probably edit it out anyway.
Worth it.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah.
They edited out of me and Amy. We came off as like the nicest little happy-go-lucky. Like, were they really racing, or were they just there to like pass money in the tuk-tuks or whatever? Like,
yeah. People were like, I wish that the girls took it more serious. I'm like, with editing, it doesn't show. Haley and I were literally grabbing them by the end and pulling them with us, and they're like, no. We're like, yes.
I love it.
So D'Angelo says you can't take 2 taxis, but the McKibben brothers say, yeah, you can, and they don't even listen. Ishwar and Aparna know what an auto rickshaw is, and they're screaming auto rather than tuk-tuk. They think it's an advantage. Don't think it was. I don't think they listen to the words you're screaming. They just see people waving. But let's see. But show up to code. Okay. So yeah. My bad. I don't know. So they actually know what an auto rickshaw is, but they do finish first there, and they leave first. But when they show up to coding, they show up at the exact same time as Gary, D'Angelo, Will, and James. McKibben brothers, I thought were going to take this because they had 2 at the same time. Nobody else had that. And for some reason, even with 2 at the same time, they got out of there pretty much last. I don't understand how that happened.
How many check stations were there though? Were there only like 2 or 3?
Oh, the check stations.
3.
I
thought we all had our own check station. Yeah, when they're checking your...
Oh, yeah, no, we all had our own check station.
So I don't know then. That's weird.
Yeah, there's no excuses then.
Yeah, they were
Maybe
right in front of us at that point, like, because we took forever getting that, and then they were second to last to leave.
Yeah, they left right above us, right? Yeah.
Which is crazy because they were racing through that challenge.
It looked like they were doing the best job from editing.
They grabbed multiple tuk-tuks. That was so smart. We could barely
Gary
get
and the 2 football players running at one of the tuk-tuks. He was like,
Gary just picking it up.
The largest human I've ever seen.
Gary and D'Angelo together were running at this one tuk-tuk. And the guy was just looking at him like,
I'm coming. Gonna eat you. So the Williams sisters jump in a cab and get lost. Cab driver's not responding to them, and I just wrote down, get the out, but
I wish we got the fuck out.
So like if a cab driver's not talking to you, just get out. I don't care. And if producers say like you have to get in a marked cab, say then you get somebody who speaks to us. Right. That's like argue like
or remove the sticker and put it in another one because this is
literally like Mark now. Yeah, that was raw.
It was crazy. He wouldn't even speak to us. He'd be like, "Do you know where we're going?" She's like,
"Oh gosh, it's bad. It's bad."
Yeah. I'd have been like this. Yeah. Choking him from behind. You're going to talk now? You're going to talk now? No.
Really, no. Okay.
Let me drive. All right. So you have a choice. Food app or number trap? You want to go deliver like Grubhub and DoorDash, or do you want to play a video game? Maya, what you picking? DoorDashing or video gaming?
Probably would have done video game. I've been to India and those streets are not easy to find things in.
100%.
Yeah, so probably would have done video game, although I'm not a gamer. But the video game was kind of cool. It wasn't really a real video game, and the decoding stuff would have been fun to do. But yeah, I mean, no, there's no way I would have been trying to deliver food in India. Like, no.
It was like Dance Dance Revolution with your hands. Is kind of what I looked at.
Yeah. That's exactly what that was like.
Joey, what are you picking?
Zappies all day.
Dappies?
Zappies, Gappies, Chappies. But what's it?
Swiggy.
You would have done the food. You would have done
all
the
day
delivery.
Long. Yes.
Wow.
Because I don't know if you remember my season. We had a little issue, not me, but Tara had a little bit of
a video game. One eye blindfolded, one hand. Guy was beating her like this.
So, and also, I was in recon in the Army, so I could find anywhere. And especially if someone's telling me where to go, it's it's way easier.
Plays into your strengths.
What's that?
It plays into your strengths. I mean, if you're reconnaissance.
Did you all know that they would be telling you where to go when you first read it?
I don't remember.
Because I would have never guessed that would have been part of it.
I think
that
that
was the
Clue
hard
said
part,
that. Yeah,
too, I
that
felt
was the
like.
hard
Did
part.
the Clue
too.
say it?
Couldn't understand him.
I couldn't understand what he was
Ah,
saying.
the
Yeah,
accent,
your guy was
yeah.
way harder to understand than Hung and Cheese.
It was hard,
Really
and we figured we're like Swiggy. That sounds great. Like we both worked in restaurants before we grew up. Our parents owned restaurants when we were growing up, so like we can totally do that. And then once we get there and he's on the phone, we were like, what? What?
Yep.
I had to give it over to her. I started with the directions and I couldn't understand.
Yeah.
And so I had to pass it over to her, which I'm glad I could, because once I passed it to her, she started to figure it out. But I was dying on that challenge.
That was bad.
Why were you why were y'all walking?
Yeah.
People say that. I'm like, we were running our asses off.
Yeah. I know, it makes us seem like we're going, but also too, every time but y'all know, you always get a different camera guy and a different sound person.
Yeah.
So in that one, our sound guy and camera person would make us stop a lot for interviews, which, as you know, you don't really,
And we didn't have time for it. And we're like, what are we doing? Why are we
Why
still
I
doing
told
it?
them to fuck off.
They'd be like, all
Yeah.
right, now
Stop in the middle of the
They
leg for an
shouldn't do
interview.
that.
a lot, y'all.
Yeah,
A
you
lot.
should have just told
It
whoever
was
that
very
is.
weird, like
no.
this. It had a weird feel.
They're
Yeah,
absolutely not supposed to. Like when Gary, you kept talking to Gary when he was trying to do stuff. I'm like, Gary, tell us shit.
You just go like this. You go like this. They can't use it. You just go like this. Look, I'll talk to you, but I'm going to do this.
They'd be like, stand over here. Like, let's just go.
What are you
how are you
feeling
feeling?
right
I'm like,
now?
I'm feeling pissed off. And
In
I
the
want
middle
to
of the
I'm feeling like I got to do the leg. That's what I'm feeling
No
like.
way.
Yeah,
no,
that was a
that's
weird
not
challenge.
It was a weird day for us. Yeah, it was weird.
It was a weird day for me too.
more assertive, where you should have been like, no, if you want an interview, we're interviewing when we're finished or once we check in and get our next clue. You should not be interviewing in the middle of running the leg. Like,
yeah, I chased the camera guy in Vietnam. He was on a moped and I was on a bike. I chased him down. I wanted to fight him. It was a big to do. No.
But I was the one that was shown with anger issues. I was the one shown with anger issues. Meanwhile, he was just happy mom and dad. They were
various emotions, Justin. Various emotions you were showing. Anger.
I told another cab driver in Dar es Salaam that I was going to stab him. So,
Because they get you there.
Yeah. You get
it was after we came in first.
What kind of cabs did you guys have?
Joey's just aggressive.
They charged who was it? Living in Logan, $320 in Dar es Salaam to go 6 miles in a cab. That's what kind of cab driver. He wasn't even my cab driver. We had already won. We were going to do our match chats, and some other guy comes up. He goes, "You owe me $50, 50 something." I go, "What?" And he goes, "You owe me 50 more." I go, "Just 50 or 15?" Because it showed me I had one $5 bill left. I was going, "This is all I have. You got to take it." He said, "Oh yeah," because it was like a year's salary. And some of the guy, and I'm like, "You weren't even my cab driver. Why don't you get out of here if I fucking stab you?" Like,
well, what they don't know is that's how Haley and I started with the Blonde Bandit name, because we'd get out of our cabs and they'd be like, "How much did you just spend?" They just took all of our money. We're like, they didn't charge us at all. And then so done, we're like, "You want some money, guys?" So
it cost us a smile and a wink.
And we're like, "We're friends with
Horrible
everybody."
taxis but never had to pay.
Oh yeah, we got really lucky.
That's
why they screwed us over. They're like, "I'm not charging these girls. We're taking them on our own."
I just want to look at them for about an hour. I'm just going to All right, so there's really no secret to doing the Swiggy challenge. It's following directions, getting it done. I don't think there was anything that you could have done differently to make it better or worse, unless you had some sort of GPS actual phone from somebody, but I don't think you could have done that anymore.
You don't really have time for that.
Yeah. So Ishwar and Aparna, Gary and D'Angelo, Riley and Madison, Will and James, they're all playing video games, and Riley and Madison get there pretty late, but come out with the Hadouken method, just like Hadouken.
Yeah,
Hadouken. It was super
smart. Yeah.
The only ones that used some sort of strategy to get better, whereas everybody else was just doing the same exact thing over and over until they got it, whereas they thought, how can we get better? Put it together, make it easier. Love that. Love how they're thinking along the race.
Smart.
Whereas Hung and Chi, not so much. 12
They were not getting
figured out.
12 attempts. 12 attempts, and they switched. And I'm like, here we go. Hung and Chi going home. If everybody played their yields right and yielded Hung and Chi 20 and 20, that would have made 40 minutes for you, which would have turned it to an hour and 20 minutes. If you didn't lose by an hour and 20 minutes, that means Hung and Chi would have lost. So,
and Hung-Chi are like such tough competitors.
That's the point, yeah. When you find a chance
because they're staying true to that alliance. I mean,
until when?
The last until now. No. Now it's down.
No, well, then you're gonna help them in the finale.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, I wouldn't want Hung-Chi in the finale because they were like secret assassins. Normally on the other challenge, they were in and they were out.
We never saw them.
We never saw them.
That would have been the
Not
chance.
us.
That was the smart. That should have been the smart move. That should have been with Will and James. With thinking about if they're thinking their big brother method, where you're getting blood on your hands. You want blood on your hands? Make a big move so the jury will vote for you. The big move is getting them out. Come on.
Yep. Yeah, it's so true. I would have loved to have watched that too.
That would have been drama.
They would have been heroes instead of villains this season if they did something like that. But no,
there's no villains this season. Let's just stop.
They're the villains. There's a villain every season. They're
the villains. Jesus, that's like having Yogi Bear as an attack there or something.
I know, they're so sweet. They're so sweet.
I never expected it to be them.
Happen?
It's a nice season, so there's nice villains.
Nice villains. Poor thing.
All right. Ishwar and Aparna, the coders, they got it on their 8th attempt. Now, I wanted to see, I don't know if you guys knew this or not, but does Ishwar and Aparna have to read the key, or could they just look at the code and figure it out? Since that's what they do, just sit there like this. Could they just look at it and be like, oh, that looks like blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? I figured if they see the numbers, they see letters, because that's what they code.
No, that's not the type of engineer they are, Justin.
No, they're software engineers. This is exactly what they do.
Yeah. No, they just look at the chat. There's an excuse for them. They don't teach that type of engineering at Berkeley.
The basics. They don't teach the basics. All right. So, I guess that's pretty much, there really wasn't much to that. It wasn't, it was interesting to watch. It's coding. As far as the tasks go, what did you guys think about the detour? Do you think it was a fair detour on both sides? Do you think one was clearly easier than the other?
I think it was pretty fair because I think that the Swiggy is very time consuming and also it's really hard to understand. And I think that with the decoding, like once you get a method down, you can crush it. But it took teams a while to get that method down. And it's like with somebody like Gary and D'Angelo, we knew they would be going to the coding because Gary is a serious gamer.
He's a big gamer.
And
which
then
you never guessed.
Ishwar and Aparna and Hung-Chi, like we just had no idea. We hadn't seen any teams at that point because we were already gone for like an hour. So we didn't know where everybody else was, but we were like, we're going to do the Swiggy because for us, like we think we can knock that out fast. But we didn't realize that all of the places, all the drop-offs were so far from each other. So how long were we in that challenge for?
A while.
We were probably doing that 2 hours.
Probably, yeah.
Wow.
Oh my gosh! I wish they would put times. That's the one thing about this edit. I'm like, you don't know like where everyone is. It's just the edit this season. Sorry, Amazing Racers. I mean, Race editors. I love you guys, but this edit is kind of a little rough.
You can never tell how far apart everybody is.
Yeah, you never know.
I know. We still don't even know.
I'm gonna do a big post at the end of the season. I'm gonna do a big post about how the Amazing Race could make the show better with just a few little tidbits. You know, put a little map on the screen with little buttons showing where everybody is and how far behind. How hard is that? It's not hard. It's just a little bit of post-production. Have the intern do it. It's not difficult.
That'd be hilarious watching Haley and I like go like right around it.
Just a little map.
We're supposed to be. We're like,
well, speaking of that, did y'all see the edit slip? Which I don't want to pay attention to it. You saw it, right?
At 25 minutes on the second, around 25 minutes on the second leg, or on the second of the mega leg.
We were
I was like, what?
Yeah. That's what I thought. I was like, oh my God, were we there? And it's like, no, we were still the denture.
Yeah.
That's a big edit problem.
I don't think the average fan sees stuff like that, but like, you know, us recappers are like,
We were like, wait a second.
I rewound it because I was like, what the heck? Like, why are they there already? I was like, did I miss something? Did I doze off and miss something? Like, I was like, what is it?
We felt the same.
See, like, next level, like if CBS Interactive cared about the Amazing Race, there would be a follow along on the CBS Interactive app, and you can follow the map. Just put the map on your app, and people can watch the map and just watch the pins going around.
Awesome.
I'd pay for all access just to have that. Like, you give me CBS all access to have the map every week, I'd be like $2 a month, whatever it is, $4 a month. Charge it.
Why don't you apply for that job?
You're right. I should. But you know. To be honest, the reason I never talk to Bertram about working for the show is because I need to win it first, and then I could go behind the scenes.
That's true.
Yep.
Because Bertram hates criers.
Bertram loves criers. You watch him mouth.
He does.
That's
During
why
the
he
chicken
zooms
dance
in.
in
That's
Germany, Bertram was in the background going, before. So I'm like, holy shit, I can't. There, it's like, you gotta put it
scary.
on. Yeah.
That's so funny.
All right, so teams are now heading to a tomb to get their next clue. Will and James say the safest team to yield is the Blondes since they don't have a yield to retaliate. Will and James.
You guys even seen them yet? Had you guys even seen them? I mean,
No. We saw them.
I don't know why
end.
they would do that. Yeah.
I know. And they wouldn't even look at us. It was so funny because they made everyone on the Mega Lake stop and take a rest, which we were like, no, let us go. And so like after it was like an hour-long lunch break too, and it just was super. Yeah,
Lunch
They
break?
made us stop on the medic. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're racing!
But they made every team stop.
Yeah.
Well, if every team stops,
Okay.
it's fine.
Okay, if every team stops in it.
Oh yeah, it wasn't.
Did
just
they-
us,
did
but
they do
we
a
saw
health
them
check?
They were leaving.
Did they do a health check? Did they do a health check during that hour?
They would come by every security would come by and check on us for like.
Because I know
India with that.
Yeah.
How hot was it there?
It wasn't that hot. It was
November. It was November, right? November, December.
Yeah.
It wasn't
Did it
as
smell?
hot. It was hot.
Yeah. The Amazon was so hot.
Did it smell bad?
it's a different
too
part of
bad. I don't
India,
think so.
Joey.
It looked very clean from the other parts they've been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
wasn't the
it
culture
was.
shock India. It was a different India. Different part of India.
Yeah.
Remember
India's
they did that
normally-
laundry thing. Was that your season, Justin?
That was our season. It was like
That was
they were doing
horrible.
laundry in dirty water, putting it on dirt. Yeah, it was disgusting.
Oh, that's right. I
I forgot all about. Now I want to rewatch everyone's season.
I
Blech.
know.
All right, so
Maya won.
It's
Maya
one
won.
of my favorite countries. Like,
yeah, Diana,
It is?
that was literally
I love
life changing. It changes your
Culture
perspective on the
shock,
world.
sure. But so we saw Will and James. We did see them when we had to sit when we were sitting out taking our yield. They were leaving their little lunch break, and they wouldn't even look at us. And we were like, and they have everything like,
I didn't remember that. I forgot all about that.
and we're like,
All right, so at the tomb, teams would have the option to yield. Will and James yield, KayLynn and Haley, and then it's the roadblock time, a little augmented reality where you use a tablet to find men with turbans in the tombs. I like taking the ancient tombs and combining it with modern technology. I like that whole thing because that's what India is. It's an ancient country that's really on top of the modern world, and it's meshing together. So I think that was a really good task. In general, I like that teams could not use the same person as somebody else. Otherwise, the damn alliance would have all used the same people, and they would have all been out at the same time. So I'm glad that there was a limited number, and it was fun. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed everything up to the part where they helped James. And Will and James are the team that I picked to win it all this year, but I'm pissed off at how much help they're getting from everybody else.
they ask.
Who do you think is benefiting from the alliance most? I say Will and James hands down. Do you guys think anybody else is benefiting more from this 5-person alliance?
I agree.
Well, D'Angelo and Gary.
D'Angelo and Gary, I think, have gotten a lot of
D'Angelo
help.
and Gary last leg benefited a ton.
They did, but I think I think James
yeah.
might still be there at the damn Indian task trying to figure out the pillars. He was not thinking about
They
it.
had to tell him.
Yeah,
Well, and
I mean-
Gary helped him, which is like a big thing because I immediately picked up on the pillars. I just there was a few other things I didn't pick up on, but the pillars I got that one.
Because he even when he was explaining it, James was not like, why are you doing it? He didn't get it. So even with somebody explaining it, he didn't get it. So I don't think he would have ever figured that out.
But you're right.
I don't know.
I mean, even at the place setting challenge, I mean,
that
Riley
helped.
and Madison,
But then again,
so
D'Angelo would probably still be, unscrambling sauerkraut. So yeah, Gary and D'Angelo.
100%. Thank you for saying that.
Yeah, thank you
And
for
that's the
saying
thing.
that.
It's like with the alliance, I really wish that they didn't get to help each other like that because it would have
The entire
it would
season
have
would
leveled
be
the
different.
playing
Yeah.
field. Yeah, the
Oh,
entire
totally.
season.
yeah. It
Absolutely.
would have been a
100%.
totally different
Yep.
season, a totally different season,
Yes.
and it would have been it would have been more intense to watch it because like with the whole sauerkraut challenge last leg, it was like, what is, like, this could have been an epic turning point in the game.
Yeah.
And we're literally watching people play telephone, and it was like,
that
what
was
in the world?
Waiting on each other, so annoying.
That was ridiculous. Yeah. And because you would have had to wait at the top of the building too for the next team to go down, and so everything would have been different.
Everything.
And so Haley and I were always so like had the feeling of being defeated because we're like, why are we not getting this? But they are all
which makes it even worse because then you feel so stupid. But it's look at Aparna in Paris. Not to say anything against her, she's very bright and obviously super intelligent, but at the museum where we had to do the art, it took her 13 times.
Yeah.
I got that on the first try. I got on the first thing. I was in and out there in 20 minutes. I was so in and out. So
people's strengths play differently.
Yeah. So like, are you going to tell me it took her 13 times to match a painting, but she could have figured out sauerkraut the second time? No. Yeah. No. The whole thing would have been different. Yeah. The whole thing would have been different.
Did you have any problem with any challenge? Really? Think about it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What?
Cello.
Oh, yeah.
The what?
Cello for me. I was like, oh my God.
Cello.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
the cello for me was hard.
Were you there that long?
I was there for
hours and hours?
4 hours.
4 hours.
Oh, shit.
But
James probably would have been there. And James probably would have been there a lot longer, too, if he hadn't kept asking.
He was
asking. So, like... Yeah. I don't know. I think if this season would have been reran without alliances, it would have been really interesting to see how people's true strengths and true weaknesses, because if we think all the way back to, I forget where you guys were, but when everyone kind of left their bags and you guys brought your bags, when you guys had to check the food and whatever,
Brazil.
I don't know, Brazil.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like no one was really telling people to get their bag like at that point. So we saw everyone sort of flustered and flying this way and flying that way. We could have seen so much more of that if that alliance wasn't there. But that alliance got the 5 teams to where they are.
They
now.
did. It worked. Aparna's in chat.
The Germany leg could have been one of the best legs in Amazing Race history.
Yep.
Yeah.
History. And it wasn't. It ended up being one of the worst just because of 5 or 6 teams decided to hang out.
That was hard for us to watch.
Didn't the clues after that start saying you can't help?
Yeah, so I was just about to say that. In Kazakhstan, right after Berlin, in Kazakhstan, when we went to the Great Khan Spy, it says on your clue, do not tell any other team. Which we were like, okay, cool. Like, I mean, Leo and Alana haven't really been helping us out. We knew at that point going to Kazakhstan that we were on our own. And so we got it before them. And that's when you see us in the Great Khan Spy, we're like, 5? Zero? Because we didn't want them to hear our answers.
Yeah.
So, at that point, I think production was just over all the help. And they were like,
they should. I'm glad.
Then we would have been screwed.
I'm
glad.
They
should have done that throughout the rest of the race because that was the only time I saw a clue after that say that no helping.
Yeah, after that, it's down to 5 teams anyway, so no one's really going to be helping. Now it's going to be sneaky help, which makes it.
Well, now there's still the 3 now, so it'll be interesting to see how last leg plays.
Watch one of those teams choke and see how much that 3 becomes 2.
I mean, I'm just saying because now everyone's going to be teaming up against D'Angelo and Gary because they're tired of them.
Totally.
Sort of
you can see that coming.
So now it's going to be get them out. Okay, Ishwar and Aparna. Okay, James and Will. Okay, tongue in cheek. You know what I mean? Everyone is still, they're going to try to help them and not help Gary and D'Angelo.
Yeah, that 3-person lines, and they really care for each other. Like watching the sneakiness of them going to each other and helping each other. It's like, whoa.
Yeah.
They went out of their way. Aparna, we were talking about how much we think that you guys were great and should have been highlighted more. And the sisters were saying that you guys have such huge personalities, but we've yet to see them on the show. One question I had for you, I know that Ishwar said he doesn't speak binary. Do you speak binary? Do you know binary code? Did you have your engineering help you at all in that challenge? I'll let her get to that. There's a little bit of a delay. And while she's doing that, we got Gary, Ishwar, Chi, KayLynn, Riley, and James all doing the roadblock. And there's actually 1 or 2 people doing the roadblock and everybody else help. Gary, I think Gary is one of the stronger players on this whole season. I don't think he's really struggled with too much this season. I mean, D'Angelo has done well in certain things, but he has struggled mightily on some challenges. I think Gary is more of the strong, calm, collected kind of guy, and he did a great job with this challenge.
He did.
Extremely disappointed. Ishwar took forever Chi, I mean, James kept getting it wrong, Pillar, and I wrote here, he might still be there if he didn't get helped by Gary. Gary was crushing this task, doing the smart thing, turning around, aligning it with things across the way. Super smart move. I love the part that, like I said, two teams couldn't use the same person. Riley came in fourth and left first. Now that's what one leg right there. Something like that. Like the little things can win or lose a leg, which is why I hate the alliance thing, because there's one or two little things that could have cost teams the whole race, but not with the alliance. This here got them the win as they went in fourth, came out first, got the momentum. Gary right behind them. Chi arrives next to last, passes Ishwar, who arrived third, and then boom, to be continued as the sisters are sitting there smiling again as they're getting yielded. I'd have been throwing rocks from where I was at the people across the way. You want to yield me?
Yeah, we were in timeout.
Incredible attitudes. Like I said, that's not going to be me. As you saw, when I had a 55-minute penalty, I fell to my knees and cried. So I couldn't do it. Again, yes. Yes, Jerry. I don't bottle my emotions up and take it out on cab drivers saying I'm going to stab them. I just let it out, all right?
Figuratively speaking.
If we would go back, I feel like, we've gotten so much praise on our positivity now, but going back, I feel like we'd be we'd be super positive, but like way more cutthroat. Like I would immediately want to immediately be like eavesdropping on everybody and be way more assertive with cab drivers. So we probably wouldn't get that same. No, we're just having a great time. Next we're like, no!
Was it friggin' slaughter, fucking slaughter, or which one was it?
Slaughter.
Nice, girl.
Fucking slaughter. I didn't even really catch that. And then we had some friends over and we were all having some drinks, watching it, laughing. And then I look up to some Facebook messages and they're like, you did great, even though you threatened the lives of other teams. I'm like, no, I didn't. And then I watch them like, oh, she's like, oh, I did. Slaughtering somebody.
KayLynn was the feisty one.
So Aparna says they do read binary. They would have converted it to hex and then binary, but they had a cheat sheet, so the cheat sheet was probably easier to use. Makes sense. Yes, if you guys did watch the bonus footage, there is some great Gary and D'Angelo footage. You cook. There's a lot of, I would definitely recommend going and watching the bonus footage. I would show it, but last time I showed it, Amazing Race demonetized my video, so I lost out on... Lost out on my $4. I want my $4, Amazing Race. Jeez.
Before we go on, Justin, I'd like to say that I think Chi did a really, and maybe it was just the edit, but I love the way when Chi has a roadblock, he is focused, he's in, he gets it done.
Absolutely.
And I don't know if they would have gotten there earlier, if they hadn't switched detours, if he actually would have been the first one out. I don't know. I can't tell from the edit because they don't put the freaking times up there.
Yeah.
But it seemed as if he was so much more efficient. Not that Gary wasn't, but I just love the way Chi can go in and get it done and out. And that's why, I love Hung as well, but I think that Chi is such a vital part of that team, staying level-headed and getting jobs done.
Absolutely.
Yep. Oh, they are such tough competitors.
I think they balance well.
Our first few challenges. We were like, they are the Navy SEALs because we've never seen them at a challenge.
Yeah, they're in and out.
Yeah, it was like insane.
Yeah.
It was crazy for us to see them struggle at that challenge because we never saw anybody.
That was the only time we saw them anybody all day is when they were leaving Swiggy.
They were leaving Swiggy is when we were finally getting there.
That's the only time we saw anyone.
And that Swiggy challenge took a while.
But that makes me feel like we weren't that far behind. Probably an hour, maybe, but who knows?
Do you think it took Hung and Chi about the same an hour, 2 hours to do the Swiggy challenge? How fast could you think they have done it, even if they buzzed through it?
They did not seem like they were having any trouble at all with him on the phone. I don't know if that was editing, but
it was the same three people, though. It was the same people, so it was the same distance.
His narrator or guide or whatever it was spoke way better English.
You're wrong, Joey. Your guy spoke better English. He gave worse directions.
Their guy at all.
When he's talking,
Joey, you're smoking crack.
I could understand him way better. Maybe it's because I have a horrible accent too. I don't know.
No, you do have a horrible accent.
watch that part again because their guy, I was like, what is he saying?
Their guy was like
so confused with what we were saying, like
getting so annoyed by us. He was like,
I know. I was like, I did not know there was a camera on him.
I didn't either.
He kept going like,
like, not through the gate, to the gate. We're like, huh?
They made it seem as if Hung had no problem, and maybe she did, maybe she didn't, but they are beasts at challenges. Like, for them to struggle with the one that they did, they're good enough racers to know that they needed to leave. And they still were able to come in and beat other teams, even though they switched a detour.
Yep. Yeah, because they beat
Just saying.
It was, what was it in India? It was Isha Nate. No, it was Hung and Chi, then Isha Naparna, then us.
Oh, it was?
Oh. Yeah. So Isha Naparna were right in front of us.
Well, there you go. And now the next episode starts off where teams must take an auto rickshaw to Charminar, where they find their next clue. Will and James say they're ready to ditch the Mine 5 for their top 3 with the McKibben brothers and Hung and Chi. It seems like you guys were, I don't know if this is editing, but you guys were the only ones that had a hard time finding this clue box in the middle of all these people.
We had a very hard time finding
like, how the hell were we supposed? It was so packed in there, and so we were like, okay, let's just run to the largest place,
the centerpiece.
Yeah, the centerpiece. So we ran straight to the centerpiece, and then around there, everybody's trying to sell you stuff, and like, there's so much going on. That
so
we
much
like,
going on,
and like guys were coming up trying to take selfies with us. And I was like, we were like, get away! And then our camera crew would be like, well, we just got them on camera. I'm like, we didn't even talk to them. But then they would sit there and got their information.
It was a very annoying day. They were stopping getting every single person's signature for people who didn't even talk to us.
Yeah, it was insane. So there was just a lot of outsourcing going on, and we just, I hated that.
Yeah, we couldn't find the clue box. It took us a while.
Yeah. I'm sure other teams had trouble finding that.
Yeah, it was
but it didn't even show that, did it?
No. Nope. They're the only ones that showed you having issues. Oh, Nate from Cody and Nate is in the chat. What's up, Noodler?
Nathan!
How you doing, bud?
Hi.
All right, teams must make their way to the Land Bazaar or the Iqbal Dentist to find their next clue. Or you choose this, you choose that. There's no skill involved in this choice, but you couldn't switch until you got to one place, right? You couldn't just open them both and pick.
No, you couldn't switch until you got to one place. Yeah,
which is exactly what Hung and Chi did. They went to one place, turned it up, looked into the bonus, looked at both sides once they got there, and they're like, no, we're going to this one. It's probably grosser. Less people are going to do it. But you had to wait in line there, which I don't know if it said that on the bonus notes, but if it did, there was 0% chance I would go. I don't know.
Yeah, the waiting in the line, I was shocked. I mean, thankfully, nobody was there when we got there.
Perks. Small perks. Perks of running alone.
I might have needed a little denture work. I'm missing 2 teeth. I'm like, yo, could you get me 2 teeth? How much? $3? I got you. Hook me up, bro.
We got you. We can mold you right now.
Yeah, you guys are skills. I mean, my dentist wants to charge $1,000 a tooth. These guys are like $1 a tooth. Hook me up, bro.
Yeah, it's nothing.
That was sort of a flashback. That was sort of a flashback to what season was that when they had to do teeth?
Oof. We got one.
People in the chat, let us know.
Yeah, Logan.
There was another season where they had to do the teeth too.
Logan's in chat. He knows. And,
yeah, Logan, let us know.
And
they had to fit people. They were somewhere in Asia.
Yeah, Yario did it. Yario would know too. He's another super fan with a great memory. My memory sucks because I don't go on a week. All right, here we go. So in this, teams must push a cart of bangles to a store and then find 7 bangles that match the ones that the bride had to receive the next clue. 0% chance I would do this. Needle in a haystack. No. Needle in a haystack challenges tend to not work out too well unless you know what you're looking for, like in my season with the cell phones. I did pick the needle in a haystack challenge. It was a little different. All right, but that was a dental impression. I did not like this task at all. I wish they wouldn't have had it on the race. I don't think this represents India in any way, shape, or form. I think there's so many cool. I mean, henna. Have some people draw henna. Like the henna was cool.
They didn't do a henna task. I'm so surprised they didn't do a henna task. I was waiting for that task.
That would have been so cool.
I think
very true.
I think they wanted a gross factor task kind of thing. Maybe
we didn't think it was that gross. I mean, like Hung said, we would have done a colonoscopy if we had to too. My glove popped off in his mouth, and so I was like bare fingers in this poor guy's mouth.
Joey.
Yeah,
So
it was pretty gross.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty.
But watching it,
you just feel bad for them too. Putting your fingers all in their mouth, I felt bad for them. But they were so
like
sweet.
watching it through the lens of COVID now, I'm just like, oh, like no way.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we were getting the messages like, "Where is your mask?"
This is not current. This was 2 years ago.
I'm like, you don't care about my mask, but you care about my hands. Or you don't care about my hands as well, but you care about my mask.
I was wearing
It
gloves.
was season 14, Justin. Season 14.
Margie and Luke.
Margie and Luke. Yeah.
Oh,
I knew it was a season. I knew it was Asia. I didn't remember when though. So thank you all.
Thank you, guys. So in that, they had to do dental impression. Did not like this one, but I do enjoy the bangles. Bangles are a huge thing. You know, they're beautiful. A needle in a haystack can be kind of fun if you got a couple teams racing with each other. D'Angelo actually did really good with this challenge. He's got a good eye for this type of stuff. Riley and Madison did pretty well. Will and James, again, they didn't seem to struggle. They just took the time that it normally would take. It's just a time task. And same thing with the choice B. Do you think they were even? You think it was an even split there, Maya? What do you think? One was easier than the other?
Oh, I think the teeth were way easier than the Bengals.
Mm-hmm. Even having to wait?
Well, once you got the molds, the next team could go, right? Like, you didn't have to wait for the other team to completely finish.
Right, but the mold's the long part, I guess, right?
Yeah, I mean, I still think that the Bengals would have been a lot harder just because there's so many Bengals. Like,
yeah, I totally agree with that.
It's easier for me to have a task, something to do that I have to complete other than find something. That's way harder for me.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, you control it versus someone else versus controlling it with a needle in a haystack.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's way harder for me.
I think the worst part would have been just the waiting time. And I don't know if you saw the YouTube clip where Chi and Hung were saying that they were upset waiting. Did you see it? Chi and Hung were upset waiting behind Ish and Arpana, and she's like, I think they're just putsy. I was like, oh.
Wait, she said he thinks that Aparna and Ish were
putsy. He's like,
putsy.
So long.
Oh, Aparna, you hear that?
We didn't say that, y'all.
I'm excited to watch them all start turning on each other.
I know. It's going to be so good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my, yeah, a little drama behind the scenes. I wasn't going to bring it up. You did, though.
Sorry, guys.
Now, D'Angelo doing good. Hung and Chi get the bangles and read the bonus notes, then switch. Was that a smart move? I think so. I think that was actually a really smart move on their part. They felt like everybody else was going to be at the other one. There wasn't going to be a line, and it was probably faster. So as soon as they got there, they switched. If you're going to switch, that's the time to switch. Not after 12 tries of something, usually right away. Both seem to work out for them, but I've never seen a team switch detours twice in one leg and still survive. But they did. They switched both. They switched both detours. So kudos on them. Dentist task, one at a time. Hung said she would have done a colonoscopy. I would have rather seen that than the teeth thing. Teams must make their way to this palace, which was absolutely gorgeous. Loved this task, and I love this place. I do wish that people were in different rooms and rather than standing next to each other.
Same.
I understand you want to show off one of the largest tables in the world. Yay, cool. Show it off. Show it fully,
Mm-hmm.
prepared. Everything all done professionally, and then go into little rooms and repeat it. That's kind of what
the place settings could have been in that room.
Yes.
And then you could have gone to another room
Would have much rather have seen that, and that would have really put the pressure on because you don't know how other teams are doing. You struggle, you do things fast. I think that would have really...
It'd be a game like we played. Yeah. That's how we did every single one. We're like, whoa, we have no
by
idea
ourselves.
Everybody else did. Yeah, haven't seen everybody all day. And I can understand the frustration of the viewers seeing the Mind 5 because you do see how much they help each other, and it's frustrating. Mm-hmm. It really is. It's hard to watch. It's hard to watch for us. Yeah. We're like, fuckers.
Because we didn't really stand a chance. You don't stand a chance against 5 teams all working to get you out.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
You got to watch season 27 again. It was 10 teams.
I'm going to rewatch it all now.
Well, just know there was the first season with a 10-team alliance to get one team out from the first leg. So at the palace, there was another yield, and Riley and Madison get there first. And who do they yield? not the team that they should. They KayLynn and Haley again to help.
Come on, guys.
Makes no sense.
They did it to help Hung and Chi. And I mean, if that's the true alliance and you want to save your alliance, I get it. But this again was a smart time. Get rid of Hung and Chi, you know. And this is also a great time if you're gonna give Hung and Chi information like James did. So if you yield them, and then when you get there, you're like, here's the information, and give them the wrong information. Be like, listen, everything's got to be at least 6 inches apart. This, whatever. Give them the wrong information so she has to mess up, and then even further behind. But it was a perfect time to get rid of a really strong team that really has a chance to win it all.
Strong team.
Mm-hmm. No, they're in an alliance. They're not breaking that. Like, they are so true to that alliance. It's not even funny. One thing, KayLynn and Haley, Evan says hi. Evan is here.
Evan! Hey, Evan! We love Evan. He's the best.
Yeah, he just tried to call me on a video. I don't know why. I'm live here. He's like, call me on video. I want to get on. Come on.
Maya.
Yeah, what's up?
Don't you think, though, because they were so far ahead and they're in an alliance, shouldn't it be one of the last of the alliance teams coming in to yield anyone to be the savior? Why would the first team there or the second team there do it?
Because that's the last chance to use it.
Yeah, but just don't. Like, in Italy, we didn't U-turn. We used 2 out of 3 U-turns. We could have used the third one, but we were the first people to board. And we were in alliance with 2 other teams. Let one of the teams behind us be the shitheads.
Yeah.
Because what if the girls made it through and then there's a U-turn coming up? Why put that badge on yourself? That's why I'm like, why are they doing that? If they don't,
I don't know. Did they ever discuss it though? Sorry.
Oh yeah, they did. They said it. They said we're going to yield them both. The Riley, the people would have said that in the thing. Both they said that both yields are going to go to the girls.
Yeah,
that's like let someone else do it.
That's so stupid. Yeah, I get it. I get it, but if they had this plan the whole time, they followed their plan, and the plan worked, to be honest. They got their final 5 it's the same thing with like Big Brother this season. Big Brother sucked balls because the Alliance just sat there and did the same thing all season. It's super predictable. So, Big Brother was terrible because of that. And this season could have been more enjoyable without the Alliance, but now we'll see what happens.
It's terrible because it's Big Brother.
I mean, I'm really excited to see these next couple episodes. I can't wait.
Yeah. This is when
when you start meeting up with everybody, like we were at the Sequester 6, and then once the other teams start getting into the Sequester, you're like, first off, screw you for the Mind 5. The second off, give me the tea.
Yeah.
We're like, I hate this team. We're like, yes.
Nice.
Where did that name come from?
They were in the mine.
Sequester 6?
The mine. The mine. All right.
They were in the mine when they made that agreement. They were in the mine. Aparna said if the board was empty, they would have yielded Hung and Chi.
I'm sure they would have too. Yeah.
Yep.
I love you, Aparna. Thank you.
They were
on their own.
I think Ishwar and Aparna have more game than we're able to see because of their edit.
Yeah.
And they've been working really well together.
They were kind of like on the outskirts of the whole thing.
They really were on the outskirts. The only time I really see them getting help is that sauerkraut from Leo.
Yep.
Right.
But other than that, they were running their own.
I'd say they benefited the least from the Alliance for sure.
100%. 100%. And they've been really calm with each other.
Yeah, they're
really good
with each other. Yeah.
Yep.
Aparna, I know you're in the chat. Where did you say you went to school?
Dude, I'm gonna block you. I'm gonna straight block you. Stop Instagramming me.
Sorry.
No, it's not you. It's somebody else. All right, so Riley figures out the measuring stick before being judged. Super smart of him. He hides it from Gary as long as possible, which is super smart. And then James sees it and is like, "Oh, I'm not gonna tell anybody." What? Oh, okay, hold on. And then he gets told.
I was just gonna tell you. No, you weren't.
He looks at like it's a conversation, and he's like,
yeah. When James tells Hung the information, he says, "They're so funny."
Aparna is upset because they said it was just the one video from casting that they continue to play over and over about the Berkeley thing.
Yep.
Is it that?
I would have sworn you said that a couple times in your interviews, though. Okay, I don't know.
I heard that people from Berkeley are like vegans. Like, like if a vegan's in the room, you know.
How do you know? They're gonna tell you.
They'll definitely tell you. Listen, I was vegan for 90 days. I did vegan for 90 days, took a little challenge, and I loved how that made me feel. I hated the community. Yep. I hate the vegan people. Yep. They are the most judgmental assholes on earth. It's like, dude, I'm trying.
Why?
Like, I had a leather jacket. They're like, oh, you can't be a vegan. I fucking bought the damn jacket when I was a meat eater. What do you want me to throw it away? That's even worse to make it.
I know.
They died for nothing.
Boots. Like, Haley and I went vegan for like a month, and we would see like our mom with her Ugg boots, and we're like, okay. You know how that
my Ugg boots, and I gave it to her. I was like, I don't think I can have these anymore.
And then once we became, I was like, I need to have my friends back. I can't keep doing this. I gotta have friends back.
I miss dinners.
Yeah, vegetarian. Just vegetarian. Just say you're vegetarian, even if you are vegan. People like vegetarians so much more than vegans.
They really do. They're way more accepting on both sides.
Yeah. James wants to keep details to himself. Then he gets told about it. Gary's kind of watching and seeing what's going on, but he's not involved in it. But he does figure it out eventually. But James figures it out, and then when he's done, he goes and he tells Hung, which allows them to pass Ishwar and Aparna barely, because they barely beat them to the mat. But it did allow them to pass it, so they benefited over the other people in the Mind 5 alliance. This is when James says the Mind 5 is officially dead. Riley did a great job being vague. This is the way you be vague and give information to your alliance and be vague about it. Hung, this is how you do it, Hung.
I was a little surprised that Gary wasn't picking up on like Riley's kind of sketchiness, because even in the challenge with the turbans, you know, when Gary comes behind Riley, he was like, get out of here. And at that point, I would start realizing, well, I mean, obviously we were oblivious to all of the alliances, but like, when that's happening, that you're like, okay, well, he's not helping me, so I think that the alliance is kind of dead at this point. Yeah. And then when Gary was asking him questions in the place setting challenge, Riley was like, yeah, I think it's over there, I don't know. And then, but you could see James and Riley helping each other, so. Yeah. But Gary doesn't seem to pick up on it.
I'm not surprised that they're not picking up on it yet, because D'Angelo and Gary come from team setting, and like there's that trust, there's that team, like they've given no reason that anyone should turn against them. So I'm not really surprised.
That's true,
because team is so important to them, and they've been working together so effectively this whole time. Yeah. And the last leg, they just got so much help. So like, why would they think anything different? And no one's told them, hey guys, like, you're kind of using and abusing this. Like, to them, they don't see an issue at all.
Yeah.
Very true. And also they yielded us, and we were the only team outside of the alliance. And he's like, man, Mind 5 is sticking to their word. The editing of that is great. It's hilarious.
Aparna knew about the McKibbins and Hung and Chi, but had no idea about Will and James. And she also didn't know until she watched this episode how Hung got there and beat her. So now she figured it out because they showed you on the episode.
Yeah. We had a weird feeling that Haley and I thought that Gary and D'Angelo were working with Madison and Riley, because when we were leaving the airport in India, we were all in a big caravan together heading to the hotel. And I heard Riley say, and I heard D'Angelo say, Riley, look, and pointed to taxis. I was like, oh, they're working together. So we went to India. We thought it was just the athletes. We thought it was just McKibben brothers and Gary and D'Angelo. Little did we know that it was everyone. Everyone but us.
Now, Aparna, I have a little bit of bone to pick to you. You're in this like multiple $1,000,000 mansion setting up a table for a royal like meal, and you put the glass in your mouth, and you were holding the glass in your mouth. Like, these people are measuring things with like measuring sticks, have their white gloves on, and you're like, never mind COVID.
What she has to do. She has to do what she has to do.
Yeah, love it.
I think we're slowly starting to see a little bit of Aparna and Ishwar's like actual like gaming, like racing a little bit, and not sort of just like, oh, like.
And let me ask you a question, Aparna. Like, what happened? Why was your hair so beautiful in this episode as opposed to like the other episodes? Did you do something different? I don't know what it is, because this episode it looked like your hair. Her hair was like, it looked great. I was like, I never noticed it before.
Up with like these luscious locks
and red lipstick and
like,
the whitest teeth.
Why don't you have pie in your hair? It was so beautiful. What the hell happened? And our whole backpack is 30 pounds of makeup.
And also, she gave up her backpack too, so she was really running with minimal supplies. Because they They went in Colombia. She got rid of her backpack in Colombia, and they
super smart. Super smart. And I wish more teams would have done it when they saw Hung and Chi show up with one. I mean, and if you watch the races recap, you would know that you don't need 2 bags. We told you what to pack. There is a what to pack. Go back and watch the what to pack episode. We show you.
Oh, we started out the race with like both of our little matching backpacks. We had like 30 pounds of new clothes,
straightener,
and then once we got to Columbia, we're like giving all our stuff away. I'm like, who wants a straightener? Who wants all my like cute clothes?
Yeah.
We are not giving up those
socks,
backpacks.
One pair of underwear. You just start getting rid of stuff. We were
underwear.
Yeah. Who needs that?
We had like 2 pairs and like washing them in, and I'm like, that's kind of gross. Whatever.
I think I was using Tara's halfway through. I threw everything away. I'm like, I hope your husband doesn't mind. This is comfortable.
Yeah, she was sharing a toothbrush.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're hardcore. I love it. I love it.
A little too hardcore. It's a little too hardcore.
No
I mean, how much does a toothbrush weigh?
Nothing. Nothing.
No chance I'm sharing a toothbrush can.
It's the one thing my wife won't share with me. Like, I'm like, we make out, we swap spit. Like, there's like other bodily fluids, but this just like, she's like, it's plaque though. I'm like, so my plaque is what freaks you out as opposed to all the other bodily, like, come on. It's plaque. All right.
Aparna's asking if you all remember the expensive bottle of conditioner that you had to get rid of.
Uh-oh. You were like,
oh yeah,
what was it?
It was like just a hair mask, which why we bring in a hair mask, y'all. It was like Davines or some like Italy product that we spent way too much money on, and like we had to like take out a loan to buy all the shit we got before the race, and then halfway through we're just not really, but like pretty much.
Okay, I'm like, please don't tell me that.
No, but like we spent a lot of money, and that's why we were like, well, we can't get rid of our backpack. We spent $250 on these. Yeah. Aparna was like, I'm leaving it in the mine. Like,
Aparna really ran with the minimum.
The conditioner.
And still looked like that. Yeah.
Yes. Did look good. But
she looked good.
So when teams were done, they just had to run out to the garden to that dude. That dude with the blue shirt was so cool to sing. It's like, if you watch the little,
insane.
You watch the bonus
Indian rap.
Yeah,
I love India.
There is a clip on the Amazing Race Facebook page, I think, or Phil's Facebook page of him doing like vocal lessons. Where it's like it's some of the best.
Phil was like doing good for the first 3, and then it was like all over the place, and he was like, "He was a bear."
That dude, he was speaking super fast though. If he was speaking any sort of words, I couldn't understand. It just sounded like. All right, so. Riley and Madison won a 7-day Caribbean cruise, which I know they're not taking, to San Martin. Even 5 years from now, I don't know if I'd jump on a cruise with this stuff.
No.
But you
when
don't
we
have...
saw that, we were like, ha ha, you're not going to enjoy it.
This is when KayLynn and Haley, we can go Riley and Madison, Will and James, Gary and D'Angelo, Hung and Chi, Ishwar and Aparna, and then KayLynn and Haley show up and find out the Alliance had a name.
We were shocked. Phil says, he's like, well, y'all really didn't stand that much chance, against the Mind 5. And we're like, haha, yeah. They're like, what?
Well, he was like, something about that mine, what happened in that mine created the Mind 5. We're like, what?
What? And we're like, the mine!
Uh-huh. And then everything started to click for us right there. We were like, oh, it felt like a Twilight Zone.
Yeah, we were so oblivious.
So oblivious.
And then it just, if you see like the after interview, this is one YouTube of our interview at the end. And we were like, we've been sharing information with everyone. We've been offering like all of our money from the taxes that we never paid. Like,
oh my God.
Literally, we were so helpful. Like, to obviously idiots. Yeah, we were
to other teams. You were giving money to other teams.
We'd be like, oh, I lost all my money, Hung and Chi, and I'd be like, oh, here you go, or
wow.
Stomach ache, and I was like, here's Imodium, you have a stomach ache. Now I'd be like, oh, that sucks, you got a stomach ache.
And then pouring like, what is it, Visine and everybody's water. Yeah, like we were so sweet to everybody because we were like, we're friends with everybody, and then afterwards we're like, we're so salty. The Mind 5 is going down.
Yeah. That was awful. We had no idea.
So Riley and Madison have now taken the lead, and they have the average 2.33 throughout these legs.
Crushing it.
And
They're so good.
Hung and Chi, Will and James both got 2.89. Gary and D'Angelo 4.3. Ishwar and Aparna 5.4. KayLynn and Haley 6.4. for
Yeah.
Leo and Alana, Michelle and Victoria actually have a better average than you, but you last.
Can you believe it? Yeah, we were like, when we got to the mat and we had already like accepted it, we were in our cab before we got to the mat, and we're like, you know what, we ran a great leg. Like, we're just happy we're not out first. And our camera crew was like, don't say that. You never know. We're like, shut up, Dean. And then
Dean. I love Dean.
We were like, we're going to go to Sequester, have a big glass of wine tonight.
Eat whatever we want.
It's going to be so great.
And then Bill's like, you're still running. And we're like, oh, yeah. He's like, oh, those happy.
Dean was one of my favorites.
So funny.
Dean is awesome.
Great.
He's one of the few that I still talk to. Yeah, he's a good dude. He's a good dude.
He's bad.
Love Dean.
All right, so let's get to some of the awards. Holy shit balls, Joey. What do we got?
It was tough, this one. It really was. I'm going to have to say was Haley's swear. I loved it. It was there.
KayLynn.
Oh, okay.
KayLynn, sorry. I can't tell you guys apart.
People give me the credit. I'm like, thank you for being here. I was the funny one.
Hi, Charlie. Oh my God, his cheeks are so rosy. I love it. I love
so cute. You're so cute.
Say thank you.
I love little green in his PJs. I love your little Santa pajamas.
Are you ready for Santa?
Say thank you. I don't know who Santa is yet.
Oh, okay.
He's
He's so cute.
His facial expressions are everything.
Santa.
You say it. You're so smart. Oh my God, he's so cute.
He's so cute. He's so cute, isn't he? Hi, Diana.
Diana, like she's pregnant. You look great, babe.
You look beautiful. I'm sure you all.
I'm not wearing a bra.
Justin, you're not supposed to say that out loud.
Yeah.
The people want to know why she doesn't come on. She's not wearing a bra. She's comfortable at home. Well, Charlie, say good night.
Good night, Charlie.
Bye. Blow kisses.
He's so cute. So cute.
That is
Diana.
your mom's favorite? Yeah. So, KayLynn and Haley, you were Diana's mother's favorite. She never watched the season until we got cast, and then she started watching it, and now she can't wait every week. And since episode 1, she's been like, I love those girls! I love those girls! I love them!
So much.
So
a lot of people, I feel like, didn't really love us too much in the beginning. Mm-hmm. It took a few episodes for people to start to like us.
We were so thankful that we could had the chance to win people over. Yeah.
Aparna's not wearing a bra either, if anybody wants to know. Quarantine.
Why would you?
Yeah.
No bras in 2020. That's free to boobies. Well, you guys were cast as the hot girls this season. Every season there's a team of hot girls, so you guys do get the shit for the first couple episodes until people figure out that you're more than just the hot girls. Because a lot of times the hot girls get voted out. I mean, they're gone first to second episode.
Yeah.
But I did have a feeling everybody on the show kind of picked you guys to be kind of like the cheerleaders from our season. Really scrappy, really strong, kind of get to near the end, but not quite make it. Mm-hmm. And that's pretty much what happened. You guys fought really well.
Tiffany and Krista killed it.
Yep. And then the country singers.
Yep, Jen and Caroline.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but then you've got Desi and Kayla who were out first.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they didn't really deserve it. They didn't deserve it. I mean, they're hot. Don't get me wrong, they're hot, but they didn't deserve to be.
Super hot, yeah.
They didn't have a lot of substance to them. At least they didn't. At least they didn't show it. They didn't show it. I'm friends with both of them. I talked to both of them. They just didn't show it. Holy shitballs moment. What did you say? Oh, it was the curse. Okay.
It was because not because she. Well, it's because I swear and that was awesome. But it's because she finally started showing that fuck you, like that. I was kind of waiting for that for the whole season because I'm like, these girls are so nice. They're awesome. They're in last place. They keep smiling. There's positivity. She's got to one of them just got to reach out and tell someone to go fuck themselves.
Yeah. She's got fucking slaughtered them.
Yeah. The first one was okay.
All right.
Yeah. I like once we got to the first yield and I saw Leo, Will, and James. I was like, bitches, and then it just felt fitting to do it again for Madison Island. I'm like, you all are bitches.
All right. Someone who I don't think I've ever heard curse, Dr. Maya Warren. What do you think your sweetest?
I'm very clean mouth over here.
What is the sweetest? The sweetest move of the episode.
I think the sweetest move was probably. I didn't really have that many sweet moves in this one. I really don't really have a sweet move, but I guess I'd probably give it to Hung and Chi with with leaving the detours and like going to where their strengths are and knowing that their strengths are not. If they feel like they can't get a task, I mean, I'm surprised they stayed there for like 12 or 13 tries, but them switching because they know they can't get it. I think is pretty sweet and smart on their end, but also I would give it to I would give it to the girls here because you guys were so great to watch. I know that this leg you guys got out, but also just assuming and kind of just thinking that, hey, it's a mega leg. Like we could possibly catch up. Like I just love that attitude because Amy and I were off at the back of the pack like all the time and we never gave up. Very similar to you all. We just like kept, although we did not get saved as many times as you guys, which I still love you all got saved. But like, I just love how positive you all ran and we're going to miss you on the rest of the season. Interesting to see what the Mind 5 does throughout the rest of this season. So
thank you so much.
Thank you, Maya. We appreciate that.
Yeah.
I know. I can't wait to watch everybody fall apart.
I know. I can't wait.
Yeah.
The claws are coming. I know the claws are coming.
Yep.
I hate to do it, but I got to give the superfan move to the Mind 5. I mean, they did it. They created an alliance and it lasted to the 5. I hate to do it. I hate it. I don't want to see it. If you're going to have an alliance with one team. Have an alliance with like, okay, this is my team. These are my dogs. We're going back to back. Don't put 5 teams together on a season that has like 11 teams, dude. Like, come on.
But mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished.
It's gonna make for great TV moving forward because they're gonna start turning against each other, which is sort of kind of like a Big Brother or Survivor kind of thing, where there's like these alliances and eventually you turn against each other. Versus usually we have that suspense of like, oh my god, who's gonna come to the mat first? Oh my god, they're not gonna get any help like all throughout the race. And this season it's like, oh. Not surprised this team got kicked off. Not surprised this team got kicked off. You know what I mean? So
KayLynn's face. KayLynn's like this. Oh yeah.
Yeah. You're definitely gonna see.
Tune in next week.
Yeah. Their claws are coming out soon.
I think everybody's claws are gonna start coming out as the 3 start turning against the other 2.
Yeah.
Were you guys?
That's what. That's what I'm waiting to see.
It's gonna be so good, y'all. I can't wait. Get your popcorn, y'all.
Get your popcorn. Were you guys the last ones in sequester? Or was it one more team?
It was just us. So that's
your last one.
Yeah,
we were.
There was no more in sequester.
No, we were the last, and we were there for a day and a half. So when we got there, all the teams, like Cody was like, I have gained so much weight from all the beer that I've been drinking this whole month. And Kelly, LaVon, all the girls had their nails done. We're like, what the hell?
Massaging.
We're like, we should have came here a long time ago when we first tried.
You all getting out when you did is like the worst time to get out because you don't enjoy sequester.
No.
And you don't get to run the rest of the race. Yeah.
And like, we were so tired, too. Yeah, we got there right in time to like all have a big dinner together to apologize to Jerry and Frank. As soon as we saw them,
so sorry.
And Jerry,
sorry.
Was like, oh, do you think they're gonna be mad at us? And Jerry was like, hey, baby. We're like, oh, thank God. Oh no.
Oh no. Oh, there you go.
There you go. Lose a little battery here.
That's okay. I'm gonna let Eliza know it's almost time. Almost time.
So what are you guys doing now?
Haley and I are in real estate.
Yep. Yeah, we started our real estate team.
Yep.
Nice.
Smart.
I played hockey down in Charleston, and I got what the hell was it? Jadia. That was fun. Yeah.
What is it? Wait, you got
Jadia?
You got that?
I got that.
Is that herpes?
It's like
it's the same but different. No, it's from like if you go out for like go to a seafood restaurant, someone just wash their hands. One of the servers or the cooks. I lost 19 pounds in 2 days. Horrible. It's like this. Like these little tiny things get into your intestines.
It's the poop scene from Dumb and Dumber.
It was. I was in like a bubble in the hospital. No one knew what was wrong with me. I'm like, I'm dying. Other than that, Charleston was beautiful. Beautiful.
That's
I can't believe that happened to you.
I know.
Yeah,
That happened in Charleston?
Yeah.
You probably have a very bad taste for Charleston.
Well, come back. Yeah,
come
come
back.
Oh, yeah. No, because we won the tournament down there. It was fun. It was on the last night. We all went out to go eat, and we went to a seafood restaurant, and I got steak because I'm a vegan. That's what I do. And so I'm like, they're like, why are you getting seafood? I'm like, I'm from Boston. There's plenty of seafood there. I'm not going to come to Charleston, South Carolina to get lobster that was flown in from where I live. So I got a steak. I was the only one who got it, and I was on my way to the airport the next day. And I'm like, oh my God.
Another reason not to eat meat.
Yeah, that's terrible.
That's horrible.
You hadn't seen me. I was on the plane. It was other like people were looking at me on the plane. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm like,
on a plane.
I traded.
Awful.
Yeah,
That's awful.
I traded seats for the last guy in the plane. I'm like, can I see? He's like, yeah, please.
Oh, you're like sweating.
I went
poop
straight
sweats.
to Mass General Hospital.
Oh, that's raw.
Yeah.
You'll never think of Charleston the same ever. I'm sorry that happened to you here.
Yeah, it was fine. It was fine. It could have happened anywhere.
Yeah, true.
Question from chat, from somebody named Aparna. Haley and KayLynn, out of all the teams this season, who surprised you the most?
Ooh,
great question.
That's a good question.
While you guys are thinking, I'll just tell you now, Hung and Chi absolutely surprised me more than any team. I had them out.
Not me.
I had them out
I knew they were gonna do
bottom
well.
3, to be honest. I had them going one of the bottom 3.
Oh, did you?
I told you guys.
They didn't show.
They were going to do well.
They didn't show a lot of that stuff, a lot of their strategy in the preseason stuff. Hey, Eliza.
Eliza!
We're just wrapping up here.
Hi, how exciting.
Hello.
I don't know.
Hi.
I don't know how Jen and I saw Hung and Chi the way we did, and you and Joey didn't see it. Maybe it's a female thing that we saw it because we both put them up really high.
Well, listen, I haven't
You guys did not.
I haven't
I'm
adopted.
shocked you ranked them so low.
I have an adopted brother who's Asian. He's Vietnamese. And I am very friendly with a lot of Asian people. And a lot of Asians tend to be like more laid back, and they don't have that aggression to really like make it sometimes when you have to be aggressive. Like I think what your problem was, KayLynn and Haley, I think you didn't have that aggression, that lack of aggression to really drive you through. And if I would have saw one that they carried one backpack, if I saw that one backpack, immediately would have put them in the final 3. Immediately, if I would have saw that. But they didn't show that preseason. But after the first leg, I was like, whoa. They carry one backpack, and they narrowed it down to 15 pounds? Wow.
And shared a toothbrush.
And they were
came out
hardcore.
And Hung got the steel drums on one shot.
Yeah. Hardcore. They impressed me. And I'm really liking Gary and D'Angelo a lot more than I thought I would. I just thought they'd be the spoiled millionaires, just spoiled millionaires who didn't care about the race from what it sounded like from their pregame stuff. Like, oh, we didn't prepare. Yeah. We're just athletes. We're going to do this. Like, athletes have never won the Amazing Race. Athletes have only made it to the final 3 once. So
Keisha and Jen won the Amazing Race.
That's true.
Who?
They're one of 3 all-women teams.
Who?
I'm gonna what season was that?
Were they professional basketball players or college basketball players? They were college basketball team, right?
Yeah, I don't think they're more athletic than I am.
I know, but I'm just. I was saying professional athletes. Like that's what your job is. Like you're athletes. Like I mean, everybody that goes on the show should be athletic, but like professional athletes. And there's only a couple that have made it to the finals as a one athlete with a friend. Team Extreme were the only pair of athletes to make it to the finals.
Oh, Team Extreme was so good.
The only team to make it to the finals, athletes. But we'll see. I think that might change this season. So the next week,
I was so sad to see you guys go.
Oh,
thank you.
I'm like always rooting for the all women teams. I think like the inherent misogyny of the Amazing Race, the fact that in 32 seasons there have been 3 teams of all women, says something about the show itself. And we're graced with the presence of one of those winners, but the reality is like the majority of the time the all women teams are just at a major disadvantage, and I can't necessarily like pinpoint exactly what it is. Mm-hmm. I mean, you guys got super unlucky with cabs, like so did we. Mm-hmm. And even the challenges that I like sucked at, that if we had gotten there sooner and I would have had more time to do it, we hadn't gotten lost, then maybe who knows, it's like you play that stuff out, and it's like, through no fault of your own, which stinks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
I know.
So next week,
because
No, go ahead.
Well, when you get lost for hours, by the time you get there, you're so far behind that then you're flustered and you see all the other teams leaving, and it just throws the whole thing into a totally different game. So, we got screwed a
Especially,
lot.
the mental state that you're in when you get there in the lead, when you know that you've left the last thing in the lead and you get there in the lead and you're like, okay, we're one of the first 3 teams here. Let me be in the headspace to like perform well in this challenge, as opposed to, oh my God, I'm behind. Oh my God, I'm screwing up. But let me it just works.
I'm flustered. I'm feeling defeated.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. Yep. Mm-hmm.
This is crazy. But speaking of female teams, before Amy and I went on the race, there were 2 female teams that had won in the 24 seasons. We studied every single season and had a spreadsheet of why we thought the females didn't win that season of the race. And so we studied it to a T. Yeah, because we were like, we know that the odds are against us. We're smaller, we're not as strong, but we have this up here. And so we were going to use that to our advantage. For any future female teams, study why you think the female teams are not winning and why the other teams could be winning.
You want the answer?
You want so smart.
You want the simple answer? It's the same reason that every team doesn't win. It's usually they're not balanced. Usually female teams are so alike. The 2 females are so alike. That's why they're such close friends. That's why they're on this race. They're so much alike that they don't have different abilities. Whereas like the male. Go ahead.
No, the male teams you think are, what about that? Why? What about 2 men who are like twins of one another?
Yeah,
clones of one another.
They don't tend to win either. They don't. The teams that have won the most.
How many males have won?
I can look it up.
Female have won the most, but how many males have won? For those of you guys who are on.
It's sheer statistics, really.
Well, yeah,
I mean, more number of male-female teams because there's more male-female competitors. There's less number of female and male-male, so that obviously by statistical influence only, it's gonna end up like that.
Yeah. Well,
right, but percentage-wise, I still think female is super low. It's super low.
Yeah, it is. It definitely. I mean, it's only been 3-4 winners. So we could start from the beginning. So Robin Brennan,
Chris and Alex Boylan, Riken and Chip. We could just. They're definitely a lot.
Yeah, in the beginning,
Tyler and James.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. And Freddie and Kate.
Way more than women, and I'm only up to season 13. I'm not going to go through all of them.
Yeah. Well, obviously, the Amazing Race has changed throughout the years, and the Amazing Race has become more diverse, both in ethnicities and in the amount of male-female teams. They're really trying to make it even, but ultimately what they're doing is creating a television show, so it has to be entertaining. So they're always going to cast the best people. So if the best teams are not female teams, then they're not going to cast them just because they need a female team. But, I guess he put it there in chat. So next week on chat, they're heading to Cambodia. It looks like they might be eating spiders. That would have been terrible. Double U-turn ahead, and the plan is to get D'Angelo and Gary. Will they use the double U-turn properly, where one team gets U-turned and the other team blocks the boards instead of having 2 teams U-turn? I don't know. There's also hydroponics, which I like, and Travelocity Gnome. The Travelocity Gnome is back. I love the Travelocity Gnome. Thanks for my wedding, Travelocity. Really appreciate you. Riverboat Racing again, and the bros are having engine problems again. Hung and Cheese slide right past them. We'll find out what happens next week.
What terrible luck.
Hung is like, oh, that sucks.
All right.
I can't wait, y'all. It's going to be a good one. I can feel it.
Yeah, it makes me happy that we got knocked out when we did. That way we can watch everybody else go after each other.
Yeah, they're about to go after each other.
So
me too.
I normally hate asking this to female teams, but we've had a couple people ask, and Joey keeps texting me to ask, are either of you single?
Never asked that. I already know the answer.
That's hilarious. Yes, we're single.
We're single. Yeah.
There you go, Joey. So I
had a boyfriend before the race, and he was like, "What do you do?" I was like, "Sorry." And we broke up before the race.
And then they got back together right after we got back from the race, and then they broke up right before it started to air. And I was like, "Thank God!"
I know.
Because she was about to move away and leave.
We worked better single together.
Yeah.
There you go. Focus on you. No need no stinking men. They ruin everything.
Exactly.
We ruin everything.
A lot of them do, yes.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. We're going to kick into what's going on with Eliza. KayLynn, Haley, you are totally welcome to hang as long as you guys want. Don't want to hold you too long, but again, free to leave, free to hang out. But we're going to talk about an awesome event coming up. Eliza, for those of you who don't know,
and I would love to have you too if you're free on Wednesday from 7 to 8 Eastern.
Yes. All right, yes, Eliza.
We would love to join.
Absolutely. Thank you. We don't even know what it is, but yes.
Yeah.
Former survivor and former amazing racer and possibly soon Big Brother. Could she make the trifecta? What's up, Eliza? How you doing?
I'm definitely never going on Big Brother. But hi. Great to see you, Justin. And everyone.
So how's everything going? Everything is good with you?
Yeah, it's good. It's good. I mean, good is all relative these days because of, the world that we're living in. But I think given everything, good.
All right. So tell us about this event.
So, well, as I think I'm running for Manhattan District Attorney. It's a really wild ride, and it's something that really came about unexpectedly. I've spent my entire career as a public defender representing thousands of people charged with crimes who really have been treated unfairly by our criminal legal system, locked up for minor low-level offenses, not given treatment for substance use disorder or mental health issues. And meanwhile, there are people out there who are perpetrating real harm on our communities who are, typically super rich or well-connected or white, and then they don't get held accountable. And yet, the people who I've represented as a public defender are punished disproportionately. And so I really came to the realization that we need to change the system and decided to run for Manhattan DA, launched my campaign back on March 5th, which, as you might imagine, all the things that I planned, events and kissing babies and out in the street, shaking hands with people. I mean, I've spent my entire life perfecting a hard handshake, and now I will never shake hands with anyone again. But we had to really we were shut down within a week of launching the campaign. And so we really had to think about how we were going to operate. We had to pivot to doing events on Zoom. And my CBS reality TV family has really shown up for me. The first big Zoom raiser we did was with Survivor contestants. We had over 50 former Survivor contestants show up, and we sold tickets and got people into breakout rooms where they could chat with their favorite survivors after kind of seeing the whole group together. And people just had the best time. And I think also in the midst of COVID, when a lot of people are super isolated and by themselves, it really gave them the opportunity to participate in something that was fun and interesting. And so maybe they came for the survivor element of it, but then they stayed, and they got to hear my why I'm running and got really invested in my race. And so we've got, hundreds of supporters across the country. Well, thousands of supporters, but hundreds of reality TV fans, I'll say, who are supporting the campaign unexpectedly. And then we did another Survivor event, a Big Brother event. And this Wednesday night, we're doing our Amazing Race event.
That's so awesome. I love that. I love getting the Amazing Race crew together. I love that you're reaching out to the Amazing Race, because a lot of times, Amazing Race gets put on the back burner when Survivor contestants do their own thing, Big Brothers, and they kind of merge together, and then they leave Amazing Racers out half the time. Because we don't have the following, we don't have the pull that everybody. We have the awards, all right. We won more awards than anybody else.
You're right. Very true.
No, but
well,
it doesn't
it's
matter.
Nice to be on an Emmy award-winning show for once.
Emmy award-winning.
There you go.
Yeah.
So as somebody who used a public defender in New York and got shafted by one, I definitely appreciate someone who cares about their job as a public defender rather than just taking a damn paycheck from the city. So I appreciate that. And I am not one to get into politics. I hate politics. I was hesitant about having you on the show, but I love to support the Amazing Race family. And I think what you're doing doesn't matter which side you're on. You're just fighting for what's right and what people, general rights that they should have. And everybody's seen The Undoing. And if you haven't, it's a big show, a big mini series that I think it's on Netflix that we're watching. No, it's on HBO Max that we're watching. About a rich guy who gets accused of murdering, and it got the whole thing. Everything she was just talking about, all the white privilege, all the rich privilege, and you could see it. And it's pretty much every show that you see, even if it's not reality. If you guys are watching television, it's the same thing. It's portrayed the same on television, same on movies. and somebody who actually wants to make a difference and do good in the world. So it's supporting that. If you don't care anything about politics, come hang out with Amazing Racers. And I don't think there's ever been an opportunity for you fans to chat with this diverse of a group of Amazing Racers. So even if it's just for the Amazing Race, come on and hang out.
Exactly. I've been friends with racers. I mean, some of these racers I have known for over 15 years, who were on the early seasons of Amazing Race when I was back in 2004 when I was on season 9 of Survivor. And so we all got to know each other at events. And so I called them up and I was like, hey, I'm going to need you to show up on Zoom for an hour. And they're like, yeah, I got you, Eliza, whatever you need. Just send me the link. Send me the info. So there are going to be some like really OG Amazing Racers who will be there, and it's going to be really fun. And it's true. Like, I'm actually running in a race that's not exactly political. I mean, of course, politics is politics, but I'm not a politician. I mean, I happen to be a candidate, but like, I'm someone who is really just being authentically myself and fighting for the things I've always fought for. And it's all just like really common sense stuff. It's not, we don't have to talk about the issues that we'd have to talk about if I were running for, Senate or Congress or president. It's like, this is very specific to criminal justice reform and prison reform and the issues that exist that are really like have bipartisan support. I mean, Donald Trump ran a criminal justice reform Super Bowl ad. He has granted clemencies. He's, granted pardons. He's done, passed the First Step Act. And then there are people across the board, who are moderate Democrats, who are progressive Democrats, who consider themselves to be democratic socialists, who all support criminal justice reform. So, we found it really is something that like is a big umbrella, that we're like a big tent. It's a very inclusive campaign, and we're really just like fighting for all people. We think that, the things that I'm pushing for, like right now, the biggest provider of mental health treatment in New York is the Department of Corrections. So instead of giving people treatment for their mental health issues, we are just locking them up. And so it seems like this is an argument that like should just appeal to everyone, because we should be giving people treatment and the help that they need instead of just putting them in jail.
Yeah.
That doesn't help anyone.
Agree.
Totally agree. I mean, there's a lot of problems with our jail system. I mean, I know people like, oh, they're in jail, they deserve what happens to them. But like, just like our jail system is terrible. One, it shouldn't be privatized. One, you shouldn't be profiting by keeping people in jail for as long as you possibly can, and you make money. And the longer you keep somebody in jail, the more money you make. Then there's no incentive to rehabilitate and get people out. What you need, you serve them, you keep them in there as long as possible, and you kick them out, and now they're better criminals than when they left. So maybe they'll come back, maybe they'll do a bigger crime, and they'll come back because you didn't teach them anything except how to be a better criminal. And unfortunately, like I was talking to Joey before the show started, like I wanted to be a cop, I wanted to be in the FBI, and I got in trouble when I was 17 years old, and I had a public defender and got shafted, and that really just gave me a bad taste in the mouth. And listen, I love cops. Joey, we love you. I know you're a cop. You're out there putting your life on the line for us, and we appreciate you. They're just like every other thing. There's good races and there's bad races, For every KayLynn and Haley, there's Kendra. There's just disgusting Jonathan. There's Jonathan. There's
Jonathan and Victoria.
They're just disgusting people.
There are no real villains on your season.
No. We all get
No.
along so well. We got very, very lucky.
Yep. It makes them seem like villains, but we don't
like the fact that they're getting put like villains. I'm like, damn,
Yeah,
they're really reaching hard.
No, I was saying that. I was like, they're like such lovable villains because they're like doing the thing that like you could be portrayed as a villain, but they're just being strategic and like you can't.
They're just
help
smart.
but
They're
love
just
them.
really good game players.
And they like obviously care so much about the show and
they're
about the game.
incredible people.
Oh, I just adore them. Yeah,
We
they'll
do
be there.
too.
They'll be there. They'll be there this season.
Awesome! I'm so excited
thank you so
to
much
do
for the
this.
invite.
Yeah.
And Leo and Alana and Hung and Chi.
Oh my god!
Nice.
Yeah,
I know.
Your email
I
right
know.
now.
Aparna and Ishwar, where are you guys? They're on the chat. Aparna, where are you guys? Have they signed up yet, Eliza?
No. I don't have their.
Put them on the spot. Get them.
I like actually got really. It was great because like I connected with people on social media, so just like reached out like piecemeal. But yeah,
we are honored to be
everyone is
invited.
great.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh my god, would love it.
Yeah.
It's really fun.
We will 100% be there.
I'm not even going to hold a grudge that you never returned my message when I wanted to go to the event in New York that you had like a couple years ago. But I'm not even going to hold that against you. That's cool. No, I'm not. I'm not even going to bring it up. I'm not even going to bring it up. No, I'm just joking. It was before you were on The Amazing Race. Before you understood that, we're a big family. It's not like Survivor.
I know. I used to go to TarCon.
Tarkan. I wish I was around for that.
Oh yeah.
Oh, wow.
Because it was at a bar in like Midtown Manhattan, and so like I'd be like, oh, fine, I'll go see my
You need to come in?
reality TV family.
Fun. I want to go to a Tarkan.
All right. So what can people expect here at the Amazing Race event that we're having this week?
So we'll do a little welcome. They'll hear from a couple people, probably hear from me about what we're doing and why, and then they'll get to go hang out in breakout rooms, have like intimate conversations with their favorite racers. I mean, it's just like such a unique opportunity to like get this one-on-one time. And, you can either, if you like buy a certain ticket tier, you can choose who you'll be with, but everyone who's coming is amazing. And so if you don't do that, you'll just get randomly assigned. And, I don't think that anybody will be disappointed.
How do they sign up for this event? How do they watch? Everybody's asking in chat. How do we do this?
Go to elizaorlins.com/amazingrace and get your ticket.
I'll put it in chat.
Justin,
right
are you typing that in, Justin? Okay.
Yeah, should we write that down too?
ElizaOrlins.com
Justin's putting it in chat.
/AmazingRace.
ElizaOrlins.com/AmazingRace.
There you go. Get on that. Get yourself in there. Help out a good cause. Or if you don't care about the cause, that's fine. Put your money in and hang out with some great amazing racers or whatever you're passionate about. Come hang out.
Exactly.
Yeah, listen, KayLynn and Haley are single. Maybe you can break out in the room and flirt with them, and they'll show you how they reject people in real life, and they'll do it virtually. It's just they can easily just be like, no.
All about it.
And listen, if there's any sort of female that gets in the room with Joey, he's going to hit on you. He's literally hit on every guest we've had this season. So, I mean, there
even
you go.
Even the men, in my own defense.
You did, that's true. That is true. You hit on the men.
Yeah, Eliza, we're going to have to purchase a special room as a fangirl for KayLynn and Haley.
You're gonna be like private room, request private room.
And I'm like, can I get the boys too? Can I get Will and James after? I just have a few questions.
Eliza, people from overseas are asking if they can attend. I don't know.
Is this done on?
Unfortunately, because it's a political donation, you have to be a U.S. citizen or green card holder in order to attend.
Oh,
I know it's such a not great.
There's rules. There's rules.
Yeah, one of the rules we don't love. Yeah.
No foreign tampering in any of our elections at all.
Exactly.
But is there a way for people to see maybe afterwards? I don't know if are you recording it and maybe uploading it somewhere? No.
We hadn't planned on it, but I can try to.
I don't know. Maybe because it's a political thing, you can't do that either.
The only requirement is that we know who the donor is and that person is a U.S. citizen or green card holder. So maybe they have an American friend or resident who could buy them a ticket as a present. Because we don't mind if a different person attends. It's just the donor has to be from the United States.
There you go. I love finding ways around it. There's a way around it. So if anybody wants to get in and wants me to buy them a ticket, extra $5 on the side. I got you.
Opportunity. Yeah.
Listen. First place is $1 million. Second place is only $25,000. I still owe money.
That is like a real. But don't worry,
huge.
like seventh place or whatever we got. Seventh place.
It's like $1,500.
Is like.
$40.
It didn't even pay for my backpack, is what I'll tell you. Post taxes, it didn't even pay for my fancy backpack.
Yeah, I think it's like $1,500 split.
What's the Survivor jump?
So Survivor, the winner gets $1 million. Second place is $100,000.
Wow.
Third place is $85,000, and when I placed fourth, I got $75,000
plus.
And I won a car. Yeah, myself.
Damn.
Plus,
I won a vehicle.
Killed it.
I sold the car for $26,000, so I made over $100,000 when I was 21 years old.
Don't you get
paid for law school?
Don't you get $10,000 just for showing up to the live event?
Yeah, plus your $10,000 for the live finale.
Which is more than everybody on Survivor makes more than the third place team on Amazing Race. Every single person on Survivor.
Even without that $10,000, the first person voted off gets $3,500, which is more than the, I think, fourth place or something. You split 8,000 or something as fifth place. I don't know. It's like,
what are we expecting to get, y'all?
Fifth place?
In taxes.
Fifth place? So I think you get $7,500 to split. Yeah, and then that's tax, so it's half of that. And if you didn't win a leg, so you didn't have to.
So I had the harder challenges,
and it just happens to be 2 years later. Sorry.
2 years later.
Sorry, KayLynn.
Oh yeah,
Back taxes.
2 years later.
I don't think we're getting anything.
I don't either.
2 years later, you get your no money.
So just crazy. It's crazy. Every single person gets at least 10,000, which is third place on the Amazing Race. That is bonkers.
Did you guys go to Sequester?
Oh yeah,
we were only there for a night and a half.
And it's in Prague. Yeah.
Yep.
In Prague. Oh, ours was in Greece, and we were there for way too long, and I cried every single day.
Why?
I like the passion though.
It was, Justin, it's so funny. Justin and I were chatting earlier and he's like, oh, you guys were that. I was like, I have PTSD watching this season. I sob every time anyone gets eliminated. I'm full on sobbing. This is the first season I've watched since my season. And and Justin was like, oh, really? I didn't think you guys cared that much. I was like, are you kidding? I was like, Corinne and I watched every season.
No, they cared.
Every challenge. I took hundreds of hours of stick shift driving lessons. She took orienteering courses. We were so freaking ready. If preparation had made the difference, we would have done great. It just didn't. And we were devastated. And it was such a massive failure, to be the third team kicked off. It was just felt like such a huge failure that at Sequester, in Loser Lodge, we just cried every day.
Loser Lodge, that's hilarious. We were in Sequester.
You guys are great. You guys were such big competitors.
Yeah,
so I can't sorry.
Yeah, and somebody in chat was talking about the male, female teams as well. And I think one thing that there's a lot more male teams is because they do highlight more male gay teams than female gay teams. So it's different relationships.
Mm-hmm.
They usually have a male gay team rather than a female gay team. So whereas they put that to represent that culture rather than representing male teams, they put that to represent a different piece of the American culture. So that's why maybe sometimes it gets skewed off. Like Chip and Riken from way back, and they were a male team, but they were the first gay team to win as well. First gay team to win any major. Richard Hatch was the first to win a major event. But I mean, it's also another way to highlight different pieces of our society that are not very well represented on television. So, do you want to riff off some of the names of the people that have confirmed so people can understand who might be there? Do you have a list? Do you know any of the teams off the top of your head?
Absolutely.
All right.
So from some early seasons, so Colin is a yes. I hope Christy too.
Love them.
We've got Eric Sanchez, winner of
one of the best races
Amazing Race
ever.
All Stars. Victor G, Cindy and Ernie. Maya,
I love Cindy and
Ernie. We've got Dennis and Andrew from Amazing Race 3.
Nice. Yeah, way back.
Tom and Terry from 10. We've got Candace.
I like Candace.
She was on 10 and All Stars.
Cool.
Mark, Sarah Leshner, Jody Winchesky, Justin of Justin and Zev. I wonder if Zev is coming. I will have to confirm.
You got both Justins? Woo!
I know. Superstars. We've got Sandy. We've got another Justin. Justin and Jennifer. We've got 3 Justin.
3 Justin.
Who the hell is Justin and Jennifer? Where the hell have I been? Who did I miss? Hold on. Justin and Jennifer.
And then we've got Jelani and Jenny. And Corey Cool and London.
Oh, nice.
Mike, Becca, and Floyd. I mean, how can you do this without
team fun?
And then the teams I mentioned from 32.
Yeah.
But there are more people that we're hoping to confirm. It's just
oh, damn.
We don't want to put people on and have people request them if they're not 100%. So keep checking. ElizaOrlins.com/Amazing Race.
Sorry, Justin and Jennifer. They made 7.
I was like, Justin, I thought you were a fan.
I was a super fan.
Doubting that they were a team. I was like,
I'm not doubting they're a team. I just don't remember them. They were on season 19, made it 7 legs. That's how forgettable they are. I've seen this season 3 times and forgot who they are.
They're siblings.
Oh, Justin, I hate when you say the teams are so forgettable. Oh.
Teams are forgettable. Listen, I could be nice, but then
I remember every team.
Our season, this recap would be like every other recap show if we were just the nice guys. We speak honestly. People come here so they get the honesty. I forget them.
That's why I'm here to be nice.
Right. There's winners.
Balance.
There's winners who are forgettable. There's a couple winners who are forgettable.
Oh, and yeah?
I won't mention who they are.
I was going to say, you be careful. You be careful, Justin.
They are. And some of them in the recent seasons. Won't say who. We all know who I'm talking about. Savage. So anyway, what else? I'm sorry. Justin and Jennifer.
Oh, see, Justin and Jennifer. They're saying in the chat that was the last brother-sister.
There they are. They're special education
Justin
teachers.
and Jennifer. Justin was he's a doctor.
And one's a doctor. Yeah, Justin's a doctor, and the sister.
They're the African American brother and sister team.
Correct.
Yes.
They were on Cindy and Ernie's season.
Yep. Yep. I don't remember him. Sorry, Justin.
You don't remember Justin was. Oh my God! How can you not remember Justin?
I remember.
Listen.
Yeah, Justin, you have to watch.
Do you want to know why I don't remember things? I'm going to show you. I don't remember things. I thought we already talked about this. Okay. Jesus.
COVID?
No.
I'm reaching out to more people.
They might have a strain called COVID.
25 too. Strain called COVID.
They probably do. Y'all weren't green team for nothing.
You know, well, there's a reason we picked green. It's not because we had a lot of money. Listen, I told you I'm a vegetarian. I love the natural remedies.
Love it. Yes.
Listen, one of my big platforms as Manhattan District Attorney is that I think we should legalize marijuana,
Absolutely.
decriminalize all drugs. We should stop locking up people for low-level drug possession, especially for personal use. It's just either the person is using it recreationally, which we shouldn't criminalize to begin with, or they're suffering from a substance use disorder, and we should be giving people treatment, not jail.
Absolutely. Joe, how far was we behind Kelsey and Joey? 15 minutes. 15 minutes. We lost by 15 minutes, and we lost an hour because of the cab that I let go. So if I would have kept my cab, we would have won by 45 minutes. But we made
of course you need something to remedy that. Yeah, that's brutal. That's brutal.
And that's when I started smoking.
We have Maya to tell us she won 16 times a podcast.
I'm trying to be a little bit more low key on the winning, okay?
Yes.
Everyone knows that we won.
Did you know that Maya won? Did you know?
I'm aware.
She won, and the only leg she won was the final one, and she won $1 million. And she's a doctor, and
that is so crazy.
And she gets to eat ice cream for a living. And she gets to eat ice cream for a living. She has the best life on earth. She's a freak. She's freaking Willy Wonka. Like, come on.
Hey, I'm just trying to live the dream and inspire some young kids along the way. Inspire some really great young kids along the way. Okay, that's it.
You are an amazing race icon for many reasons, Maya. You are.
Sure.
I totally agree.
Absolutely.
And a real life icon.
Thank you all.
Yeah.
Thank you all. Yes, I went to Eliza's. When was that? 2 years ago? You all's finale.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. It was 2 years ago.
Damn.
Wow. Oh my God, that's crazy.
I know.
I want to rewatch everybody. I know. I'm rewatching.
Yes. All right, Eliza. One more time. Give it to us. Where? When? How?
Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, the hour leading up to the next episode of The Amazing Race, and it is open to anyone who is a U.S. citizen or green card holder. Can purchase a ticket at elizaorlins.com/amazingrace. Awesome. And even if you can't attend, would love for people to donate, even $1, $5, everything helps. It really matters. We're running a very grassroots campaign, and there are people I'm running against who are getting donations from, who have millionaires and billionaires funding their campaigns, and we're doing it from like the thousands of supporters we have, which I'm so proud of. But also, it's a huge challenge.
Yeah, this is real life. This ain't reality television. This is real life. So let's get out there and make a difference in real life. You guys vote your ass off for Big Brother. You vote your ass off for America's Favorite. Well, get out here and hang out with some amazing racers. Hear some stories. I might tell some stories that were never told. If the people promise they don't repeat it, because I can get in trouble for one or two things of these stories that I'll tell you about. If whoever gets in the private room with me, if you're watching now, ask me about what happened under the stars in Africa. And we broke international laws, so we may need Eliza Orlins.
Anytime.
Yes. And if anybody needs you as a lawyer, where can they reach out to get you? I need you. Now, are you currently a public defender now? Are you still public defending?
I'm actually on a leave of absence. I'm working on my campaign full time currently.
There you go.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you. You can check us out at elizaorlins.com.
And for those of us who don't know what an actual district attorney does, what the hell does a district attorney do?
Oh, it's so funny. I actually often tell people it's like the most important elected official that you probably don't know, because the DA decides not only what crimes get prosecuted, but who gets prosecuted, what sentences are sought, whether bail gets, asked for, what, whether a person has access to treatment. It's like everything with regards to the criminal legal system. So yes, the police are the ones making the arrest, but then the district attorney is the one deciding what charges are brought and whether or not someone gets charged. And so it's a huge, huge, huge deal, and makes a difference in the lives of, of millions of people.
Wow.
There you go. So get out there and do a good thing. Eliza, we appreciate you coming by and thinking about your Amazing Race family. KayLynn and Haley, you guys are awesome representatives of the Amazing Race. The same reason that everybody loves you is probably the same reason you lost, though. So.
Totally.
Thank you so much.
But feel free. We're always here. The Amazing Race family is a tight one, and you're part of it now. So we look forward to meeting you guys. You're always welcome. Joey, I thank you for being here. Thank you for putting your life on the line for us out there and doing what you did,
Thank you, Joey.
both in the military and out there on the streets with the cop. Dr. Myra Warren, thank you for being an inspiration, not just to women, but to African American women and all racers out there who think that you have to be big buff and big and strong to win, when the strongest muscle in your body is your brain, and she is proof of that. To every single one of you watching, all the 106 of you right now, I appreciate you spending a minute with us. Time is the most valuable thing you have, and for you to spend it with us means a lot, and to get to talk about my favorite show with some of my favorite racers is, for me, a dream. And you guys allow me to do it, so thank you very much. We will see you next week with whoever was eliminated, and maybe we will also bring on the Cajun Agents, because we gotta get them on the show. Yeah, they missed it, but I missed it.
They're hilarious.
Y'all are gonna love them.
They're a little spark of joy. So if there's anybody else you want to see, let me know. We will see you on Wednesday. ElizaOrlins.com/Amazing Race. Peace out, everybody.
Hey, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.